What is up? And thank you for being patient. Salute to everybody waiting in the chat room. This is the We Don't Smoke the Same podcast. Excuse me, I just took this fucking delicious ass dab. Joining me back is my co-host Xavier Guerrero. Welcome back, dog.
What's up, dog? Got a packed house today.
Yeah, it's a packed house, bro. What does that mean? It's time for you to interrupt? Like, cause when it's a packed house, Xavier is like interruption time.
No, I'm gonna behave today, dog. We got good stories that are gonna be dropped today. Some mad knowledge.
Yeah, our guest has like several stories. I told him, I was like, you live like 1,000 lives, bro, and you're still living. You know what I mean? But joining us on the extended version as well is Psycho Les. You know, salute, welcome back, Psycho Les.
Oh shit!
You just stayed in the seat.
Long time no see, B.
Yep.
Where you been, B?
You know, I've been here and there.
All right, no doubt. Yeah, man. You know, just hanging out, man.
We still over here surviving the fucking whiskey.
Hey.
Yep. And what is it? Ray's also running the boards. What's up, Ray? Welcome back.
Good evening, gentlemen and ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because we do have a female dog on the show.
Yeah, this is Chloe.
Yeah.
Yep. But what is it? Our next guest, which is our special guest. This man tells a lot of stories because he's lived a wild life. Like 1,000 lives almost, man. Like, and the amount of stories he has, like every decade for this man was something like different, like for him. And I'm like, how do you just like grasp that all that shit happened to you like every 10 years? Like every 10 years can be an episode here. You know what I mean? With the life you had. I mean, we have the one and only Jerry Krasicki over here, aka Jerry K.
What's up, brother?
I've known this dude for a while. You know, he's known Be Real for a while. Like, you've known him when he was young. You know what I mean? Like,
I was actually young. When I was really young, I was a
like,
fan.
you were young. You're like, as a fan. Just
a fan.
Yeah, just as a fan. I was like, you known him when he was starting up. But
and then I met him in Amsterdam when I was shooting at the High Times event, actually. That's how I met B.
Man, that is... man, you've definitely... you've been around. What was first, man? Like, your first job? What was it, photographer?
My first job?
Well, like, I guess in the industry, like, you just...
My first job was actually when, in the 7th grade, I bought my first bag of weed, rolled it in joints, took it to school, started selling joints for $1 a piece, which were about that big. And then I just started trapping in school, and
That's 7th grade.
in 7th grade selling joints, and then continued up through the 8th.
Like, where'd you get the weed at that point? Like, did you have a cool aunt or some shit? Like, what the fuck?
No,
like,
actually, my dad was a coach at a high school, and you know, while he was coaching when I was younger, it seemed to be fun for the high school students to get to coach his son high, and that's how I actually got into drugs as a kid.
Yeah,
And honestly, cannabis saved my life from all the drugs as I got into my teens.
yeah?
Yeah.
Like, it stirred you away?
Like, you know, I made a choice after 3 drug rehabs and so forth. It's
Oh,
like,
shit, rehab.
Yeah, you know, and overdoses on drugs that they really don't have now.
Dude,
like
you were doing drugs. You were doing drugs when they were pure. You were doing drugs when they were pure. So how did you overdose?
What's the Quaalude?
Like
Theo, I've never
Quaalude.
met someone that actually has done a
714
Quaalude.
roars, baby.
What? 14?
The 714s before they turned 11 to the lemons.
Dang.
Wow.
You know, like back then, you only had you had pot, you had tea, which was like it was a chemical, MDMA, and now you know MDMA back then was just in a powder form, and then you had speed to come out of the distros out of the pharmacies. 18985s, black beauties, yellow jackets.
You said you OD'd. Did you personally OD?
Yeah, 3 times. Yeah.
3 times?
Yeah.
On what, Quaaludes?
That must have been some good shit.
Quaaludes, heroin, and just alcohol and a conglomeration of drugs as a kid.
Like, how old though?
So I started smoking pot when I was 11, and when I was 11, drugs in that time era were a big thing, like the pills from all the mothers, you know, medicine cabinets, because back then they had Valium, and everybody, that was the mother's helper back then, so they had the white ones, the yellow ones, and the blue ones.
Oh, really?
And, you know, my parents were divorced, I lived with my dad. We lived in an apartment building where the kids downstairs were high school students at his school, so I made friends with this guy, Dickie, and his brothers and were older, and that's how I got introduced to drugs, was by default like that.
Happens.
As an unhappy kid, in a divorced family, it made me laugh. First time I smoked my weed was under a pine tree behind the apartments, and
Nice.
it kind of felt good. So, but then it evolved into all these other things.
Every time you OD'd, there's something you used to mention a different drug.
Sprinkle a little white on
different
top.
drug.
Was every
Once in a while.
Do you remember like the feeling from every single OD? Like like what an OD on heroin was like, or an OD on
It's almost you're helpless.
Like you knew, do you knew it was coming every single time? Like the second it happened, you're like, oh, I did too much.
No. Most overdoses are fade offs.
like you nod off like
You're fade offs.
you wake the fuck up.
You're unconscious, or it's a phase of stages of drunkenness to where if your friends are not aware you're overdosing, like my friend Bobby Robinson, and he overdosed, but instead of the guys taking him to the hospital, they took him home, and when he could have been saved, but because they were afraid to take him to the hospital, they took him home, and that was just on muscle relaxers back in the 80s and 90s.
Well, that's with overdoses. People are scared to call the ambulance because they have a feeling they're gonna go to jail.
They
The drugs are
quickly
at the house, and you're like, I can't call the cops here. And in those 20 minutes, if you take him to mom's house,
you have no insurance.
You're such an asshole.
It's just I really hate seeing people on drugs. Drugs are if you're in a relationship, let's say with and you're on drugs, it's worse than actually cheating on your partner with another.
Like, what do you mean? Like doing drugs while you're in a relationship?
When she doesn't know you're doing them?
Because a drug addiction is a private thing, especially certain types of drugs. Because you don't tell everybody you're doing these things. They're not in the bathroom while you're doing these things.
Yeah, dude. Like that time I told you that I would have to hide that shit from this one girl I was with, and she didn't know that. Like every time I would get to the bathroom, I would be going to do coke, and then I would be going back, and I'm just like, oh man.
This girl would sit there and be like, I hate cokeheads. And be like, yeah, so do I. And then go to the bathroom and be like, yeah, that would be this motherfucker.
I see my point right there. That's my point. And the problem with that now is, I always thought everything in moderation is okay. Okay? If you can moderate it and control it. However, nowadays it's like playing Russian roulette when you're doing these drugs. Because I just lost a friend that was on this show who did Yes, I Said That here in the studio, who slipped back off the train and went and got some cocaine, and he did a little bit of it, and it was fentanyl, and it killed him.
Wow.
You knew him. And just recently, another friend of mine overdosed on a pill that he thought was, I think, Percocet, and it had fentanyl in it. So, he kind of straightened him up. But you're playing Russian roulette with yourself when you're doing these things right now. And if you're smoking weed, that's not going to happen to you. Yeah, you can function in a normal life and enjoy your life.
That is crazy. I mean, that is like I said, we party, but it's like the whole fact that people are dropping like flies because of that. It's like that made us stop partying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though it's fun to just
you don't
to fuck
stop
around.
Partying. You don't gotta stop partying. You just gotta know who you.
Look, I can go to. I've been through AA, NA. You name it, I've been through them.
Hey, at the end of the day, they're all with Jesus, huh?
At the end of the day, it's all really within yourself, what you choose to do with your life. We all have choices. You can't blame anybody because of something that happened in your past because of the choice you're making right now. Because if you're of sound mind and body and soul, then you can make a proper choice on, do I really want to put diesel fuel in my new Lamborghini? I mean, that's the way you got to look at it, because we have our body's our temple. So are you going to put bad things? You're putting bad food in our bodies.
Yep.
Because our taste buds outweigh our decision-making processes and our thirst for that sweetness. And so... The sweetness, and...
Lick shot for the sweet.
Then your health deteriorates, So, but anyway.
Man, that's so. when out of those 3 times that you just woke up in a hospital, like you had somebody that was there or what?
My mom's always been there for me on the whole.
Wait, you were doing it at home?
Yeah, I OD'd at home one time. OD'd at a friend's. I've been in a few hospitals.
So you're not even an adult when at this point in your life.
I burned down one of the facilities I was in with the people in it. We were all in it, and there was a whole thing going on there.
Wait, hold on. Let me just. Did you said you burnt down?
When I was in my teens. Well, the first thing we burnt down in my teens was we were in a new construction development, and we were upset because they're tearing up the woods that we grew up in and where we hung out. But one of my buddies who moved from New Jersey, we became friends, lived across the street in this neighborhood where they bought the house, and they were building houses around it. And so one night we were all doing acid, and we're in the house across the street. So we decided to build a fire in the bathtub, and we're tripping balls, and it started melting through the bottom, and then we all split, went across the street, thought we put it out, and next thing you know, the house is burned to the ground.
Not a good idea. Not a good idea.
Not a good idea. So that was a bad idea. So then they sent me to a rehab in juvie.
Oh, they found out it was you guys?
Yeah. I don't need to get into all that, but yeah, the guys all told on us. I learned about trust and loyalty. It's not good at a young age.
Wait, everybody's on acid, and I can just picture this shit, bro. Like, why would you start a fire in a bathtub?
We're in Billy's room, looking out the window at this house just burning down.
Yeah, so you're starting a fire in a bathtub, and I mean, I imagine bathtubs like they're all that fucking ceramic. They're like that ceramic and shit. So that shit starts melting through the floor. You know what I mean?
That's what happened. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
in North Carolina, they build the houses up on bricks, so they have like air that flows under them. So
shit!
It was done. Yeah.
Man, that is fucking wild. So all right, was that the first
so
time you went to jail?
There, I went into a rehab after we got caught and everything, and there was a girl in the Manson family that was in this rehab that was, at least she was really young, and they sent me to Charleston. And from there, they sent me back to Charlotte. And when I got into Charlotte, into this rehab, it was like maybe 40 or 50 kids in there and whatnot. And they were all doing shit like sniffing you could spray this stuff on the guitar strings called fingeries. And if you sprayed it in the socks, you could breathe it. You get a good buzz on that shit, right? So we ended up having something go on between me and this girl. And she got upset, so she lit a fire in my room. And then that place burned down. So then they sent us to this hospital place, and I ended up breaking out of there. And then I ended up getting put under the custody and sent to Durham, North Carolina, and that's where the Quaalude shit was just. So it just was never ending. The only way I got away from all of that stuff was I completely left North Carolina and went to Florida.
I thought you were originally from Florida the whole time.
I thought Florida makes it worse.
No, originally I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Damn,
and that's where all that stuff went on. And then from there at 16 years old, in February for spring break, me and a friend of mine, Billy, went to Myrtle Beach. We met these 2 girls, stayed there a couple weeks with them. They said they were going to Florida. I was just going into the 10th grade. I went and said, fuck it. I dropped out of school, went back to Charlotte with the 2 girls, and then he had a court trial for a hit and run on something. So I just got with the 2 girls, and we headed to Florida at 16, and I never turned around. And I stayed in Florida from 16 till I was in
Miami?
my 40s. Everglades City and Naples and Miami, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Damn, that's fucking... Dude, those are supposed to be...
All that before he was 18?
Yeah, those are the fucking years. Those are the years you're supposed to be developing and shit. You were developing in like a whole different other way, man. Like, you had died 3 times pretty much before you even like had turned into a legal adult. And I would have thought that for some people, that's enough. That's enough for... and
that's why I've been such an advocate for cannabis. Because if it was not for cannabis, I'd probably be dead.
Did you now?
Facts. The only thing that was wrong with cannabis is you getting caught with it.
Were you? Now, were you weren't smoking weed? You were just doing hardcore drugs before that?
I was smoking weed always.
Oh, okay, so
that's actually the first thing I smoked was weed. That was my first thing was ever weed, and then it just developed into the Valiums from the cabinets and then it just regressed.
Now, did you have when you what happened in Florida? Like you're 16 and going to Florida.
So I got
Did
to
the
Florida.
drugs start
So
popping
when I
out
got
there?
to Florida, that's where I got introduced to the whole thing with bringing in bales and the whole Colombian thing, and I met Cubans, and we became friends, and I moved in with some families, and that's a whole nother story for another show, man. But yeah, that's how it started. So like February of 1987, I was sleeping on the beach in Naples, Florida, in my black Chevelle with 2 girls.
Nice.
Nice.
Dude, Jerry's always been the Mac, dog.
No,
Don't get that fucked up, dog.
I've seen him like 3 times. He's never disappointed. I'm like, all right, yeah, that's the man.
Yeah, man. Every time he's always
Swagged out too.
Yeah, well, I mean, when I met Jerry, he was swagged out, but in a different way. In a different way. Like he always had his own like style to him, but he was swagged out in a different way. Like now he's like hype beast.
Oh, hype! Yeah, every time I see him, like
clothes. Like I got tired of. I would buy the clothes, but I couldn't go anywhere and wear them because other people would have them on. So then I just started cutting them up and reconstructing them and making my own.
Fully custom.
Yeah, like this jacket, the pants I have on.
Won't see that anywhere else.
No.
Yeah, no. This dude makes his own stuff. Man.
1 in a million.
So that's what it kind of evolved, and then I liked Virgil, so I started supporting him, buying his shoes and whatnot. So yeah, I like design and fashion. That's something I've always been into. My mom's into it.
See, I did not know that side of you, man. Like the upbringing part of it. So
yeah, everybody just thinks I'm some super trapper.
Well, I mean, at least now, because that's what everybody meets. That's what everybody has met you as. Like I guess for like the last 10 years.
Yeah,
you know?
Because I documented the weed industry from the cannabis cups going to Amsterdam and meeting everybody online. I mean, I went to Hungary in 2000.
When was your first one?
So I went to Hungary in 2004. Coming back from Hungary, we stopped in Amsterdam. Got off the plane, went and got a hostel, stayed overnight. I got high as hell at the Cricket. I got online, got on the smokersguide.com.
What year is this?
This is in 2004.
Okay.
Made up a handle, got in a chat room. Everybody said they were going to the Cannabis Cup. They were meeting at Central Station. I said, oh, fuck, I'm going. Got home, packed all my shit, bought a ticket, got my camera, and went back and had a shirt and a hat made with my name on it that was my handle, so everybody knew who I was.
Yep.
I had everybody else in the room hats made and shirts with their handles on it. So I showed up with like 35 hats and shirts, and we all met at the station. Everybody had on their identification, and we just
killed it.
That's where it started. And then Malcolm saw me running around the Cannabis Cup, going into all these places I'm not supposed to be with my camera. And I was with Soma, and he wanted to see my imagery, and I showed him, and from that point on, he gave me all access passes from there on out, and I've got so much history that I've considered turning all my images that I've got into NFT files and and have a historical cannabis prohibition to the end of prohibition of my photography and allow people to buy them in NFT files and take ownership of them.
How many pictures you talking about?
Like 3 terabytes.
Damn, that's cool. Yeah.
A lot of stuff. Like at one cup when I was with Jack Herrera, he was sitting there and we had my camera set up and Soma had a bong right there, and I've got literally hundreds of pictures of just people taking hits on the bong while we're sitting there, and he's on a air tank smoking a blunt or a joint. I'm like, it's crazy.
Legendary pictures.
Hooked up to an air tank?
Yeah, he was on an air tank. That's the first time I met him. I looked at him and who's this guy on this air tank? And he's smoking a big old joint. And I knew this guy Eddie Lepp, and he's like, that's Jack Herrera, and he introduced me, and that's how I met him.
Damn, fool! You know, man, this was fucking met some people like all around, bro. Like for him, like because I think B said he met him once. You know what I mean? But I was like, how old was he when you met him?
I met Jack right before he passed away, within probably about 7 months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then Eddie, I met right before he went into prison.
Wow. Damn it. Well, is that amongst like your top 3 most interesting people you've met? Because you met a lot of people, man, documenting all these events.
Yeah, I've met a lot of people. The most fun thing about me being a photographer is I grew up as a photographer with my grandma and fam and stuff, and when I got to start shooting people like Be Real, you know.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I used to pay to go watch him play.
Yeah.
You know, but once I got backstage and got to meet him, we cultivated a friendship. I have to say, Be Real, you know, when I think about it, you know, and I think about everybody, Be Real, he's just one of the most humble human beings I've met. He's a great father. He's really family orientated. He don't turn fans down. He's always stops and takes time. I've watched him grow, you know, from doing his music to being this amazing visionary and entrepreneur with Kenji and him side by side. And, you know, if it really came down to it, he's probably one of my biggest inspirations on watching somebody actually grow. You know, I've got other people like the Marleys, you know, sitting with Damien and, you know, things of that nature and like that, and Slightly Stupid and whatnot. But as far as really meeting someone that you looked up to, becoming their friend, and then watching them grow, I'd have to say Be Real's, you know, even driving over here, I was thinking about it, you know, Be Real's just an amazing human being. And his team, like you, like, how long you been around here? You know, he has loyalty to the bone, and I've never seen somebody give people so many chances. Like, he'll sit back and watch.
Like some guy named Carl?
How about somebody named Tommy? You know, I don't know if y'all know Tommy. We used to watch him in the videos, be sticking funky Phil tips in his pocket and leaving at 7B. Watch this guy for months until he finally just said, I just had enough, you know.
And even till this day, like, it's just like, it's like kind of like, oh man, that's like what, because he still went up and it's like, hey, what's up?
He's still around, like, whatever he's around.
But it's like it's all love, you know. It's like so that's the crazy thing about it.
That's the thing about B, man. He truly knows how to forgive. He knows how to be a friend, and he knows how to be a father. I mean, he's a true inspiration. So that answer your question?
Yeah. To the fullest extent. Yeah, what's up with the dog, bro? People don't know you have a dog. Like, people don't know you have this, like, the most chillest dog.
This right here, this is Heartbreaker Chloe.
Heartbreaker Chloe.
Yeah, you see now he's like, you just got me up. It's really.
Yeah, she's down here sleeping. But anyway, you can find her as Heartbreaker Chloe at CLOE on Instagram. When they disabled my page, I was just like at wits, and so my girlfriend, she brought the dog over, and I kidnapped the dog immediately as soon as I realized how cute this little thing was. And I said, can I start her on Instagram? And she says, yeah, you just, you know, keep the cannabis off of it, but yeah, okay. So I started her on Instagram.
we don't want her to think she's a stoner, you know?
With the big ass blood next to the dog and shit.
So I created the page, and she's been blowing up. I mean, she's got over 600 followers now. She's, you know, gets her daily post. You know, she does her daily little gig on there, and
yeah, it's tough being Chloe.
Yeah, and I have to answer all the other dogs that want to talk to her, so they'll ask questions, and we'll talk back and forth. It's like I got dog talk going on.
So it's like if you're gonna breed this dog, right? It's like at some point. Are you gonna hold on auditions like where it's like I only take if your dog doesn't have a profile, you can't get it Chloe.
It has to know how to sit.
Yeah, bro. That because you know like there's people that treat their dogs very much like a kid at this point,
like
man.
this dog right here. I take her to the Rams game.
That's crazy right there, bro.
I take her to the clubs. I take her to the events. I take her everywhere.
She's out there at bottle service?
To the toilet.
Yeah, she got her own VIP.
Wait, you take her to the clubs? Like
yeah, take her to the club.
Look at that.
Like to the club, like dancing club, the fucking turn up?
Yeah, turn up club.
Toilet.
And this dog gets more attention than the dude singing.
Hey.
That's Chloe right there.
Chloe.
Yeah, go give her a follow.
Yeah.
It's good to keep in touch with her page because
Chloe's
they disabled my page. So in order to find me, if something goes down, I don't see where it says follow.
Okay, Jerry,
hit follow on that.
You brought. A lot of people don't know this, bro, but he brought this up,
There
man.
you go. That's my
There
man.
we go.
And you see her name. That's really her name, Chloe Escobar. That's her real name.
Oh,
yeah.
is she related?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe by in the family tree, but her family's from El Salvador.
Okay.
So she
Nice.
is.
Nice.
She's
That's
an
right.
Escobar.
There we go.
Hey, but
Salvador.
yo, he's mentioned it a couple of times. He's like, my page got disabled. My page got disabled. Jerry has had. And you're gonna talk about this because
That's
I
really-
thought I had bad Instagram problems. Yeah, it took me a while to get deleted, but eventually they got to me and they deleted me, right? And I thought it was shadow banned and all this shit, and I thought it was that.
They had you bad. You couldn't
was
get a
bad.
40K. Like
No.
there was no way. They
Okay.
made it sure if he's on gets to 40K,
Like
we're
it's
shutting down
over, yeah.
Instagram.
So I swear it was like that. So with Jerry, here's the thing, bro. Like, I don't know where this stemmed from, and even like when you had your show here, you were dealing with this problem.
Yeah.
You were dealing with this. So Jerry has been dealing with like Instagram disabling his shit, but letting numerous fucking people make fake profiles. I don't know why it's him. They make fake profiles with his picture, all his bud pictures and everything, and tell you that he's slanging bud, and he scams you. So, but they make fake profiles of him.
Wicker. They're using all the apps.
So what is it exactly that they're doing? Tell him. Like Xavier doesn't know and Psycho Les doesn't know.
All right. So back around when we were doing the show, I had a fake page come up. The first fake page I ever had was Adam Mill fucking with me, and I got pissed about it, and he took it down. Okay, that was a bad deal. Then all of a sudden, fake pages started coming up, and I was trying to have them deleted because what they're doing is they're taking all my images from my events and everything I do, and they're saying, hey, we'll send it to you, you send me the money. So they started using Wicker and Western Union back around 2015, 16.
There is a smell. It's
So as it got worse, all the way up to into the 19, there was about 300 fake pages, and they spell my name many different ways. But mine's just Jerry Krasicki. It's my name. Even when I shot photography back when it was totally illegal for the Smokers Guide and High Times, I still wanted Jerry Krasicki in there because that was who I am. I didn't want to hide behind an alias. And that's kind of how my brand of me as a persona and likeness has been built over the years. And with the Instagram, I would report them, they'd take them down, and then report them and take them down. But they would put my daughter and me up there and say it was my girlfriend. They would put my exes up there and say we were out doing this. They would take pictures and they made it look like they were me, and then they take all my stories and they record everything, and somehow or another they're taking AI, artificial intelligence, and breaking my voice down into conversations. So I had to start watching what I was saying on IG. Because a girl she goes on my DM and she's crying, calls me, I pick up, or no, she says, she texts me, I call her on the DM. She starts telling me she lost $3,500 in Cash App, and they're talking to her right now, and she thought it was me. I'm like, no, you're talking to me right now, real. And meanwhile, they're on there talking to her, and she's trying to get a tracking number, and she's asking me for it, and I'm like, I don't got no tracking number, I'm sorry. And this is this is one of hundreds of situations of to where I've been in the airport. People come up to me and say, hey, man, I bought something from you off of Instagram. You never sent it to me. I was like, well, that's not me. This is my page right here. And because I had at that time, 30 or 40,000 followers, it made sense to the person like, oh, I got scammed, because when they would type my name in, all the fake ones would pop up.
So you said that the whole time what is it? These people are getting scammed and they're coming up to you at the airport. Like, what was that experience like for somebody to just come up to you and be like?
So
Yo,
I
show them-
jokingly
show them
started wearing off-white shirts with the X on the back because I was like, someday somebody gonna put a bullet in my back because they're not gonna ask.
That's what I was.
took their money.
That was be my next question.
I'm
Like,
gonna tell you what, it's weird because I was at the Chick-fil-A eating in Hollywood, and some two guys come up to me and tap me on the shoulder and said, hey, man, I bought some stuff on Instagram. You never sent it to me. I'm like, it wasn't me. I showed him my page. He felt like an ass. I recorded it so he could show everybody he got fucked and whatnot. And then I went to my car and grabbed some bud out of my jar and gave it to him and told him, don't do that shit anymore. Then from there, I went to another party, and there's this big, humongous African-American dude just staring at me. And I'm like, what's up, bro? And he says, you don't know who I am? And I'm like, no, I don't. And I'm with a bunch of friends at this party. And he's like, man, you've been talking to me on Instagram, and we're supposed to be doing this and that. And
It was a
you're
scam.
you're trying to send me money. And I'm like, get him to send me money. And I'm like, nah, bro, this is me. And all his friends start laughing at him because they know what I'm going through. He don't know me. And so, yeah, it's a problem.
Okay, so, I mean, these all sound like encounters where it's very chill, right? You know what I mean? Like,
I haven't had anybody come up and clock me.
no, because that's what I would imagine.
No,
And I
that's
mean,
because that's what you would do.
no.
Someone
no.
scammed you for $3,500 and you see this
No,
boy,
it's
you're
not.
like, yo.
It's not just me, bro. There's some people that they would get scammed. Like if you're talking to somebody in fucking North Dakota or whatever the fuck it is, and they're like, "This is my only 10,000 that I'm gonna invest to try to flip it over," and they get you for it. You're gonna want that's your livelihood to that person. You know what I mean?
It is.
And you don't know how much.
But we're all adults, and you should know not to send money to anybody on Instagram or any. I don't even want to buy anything from Fashion Nova because they take 3-4 months to send the shit to you. So Christmas is over. You know, I mean, get my point. You don't send money to people you don't know. Maybe you might get lucky and get something, but you're gonna get fucked eventually. You know, and that's why I said just get some seeds and grow your own weed. You know, grow your own stuff, and in 90 days you have your own stash, and you ain't got to worry about it getting ripped off.
Now, have you ever found out like, or maybe my question is right now, like, why you? Like, why are they specifically making over 300 profiles or 3,000 profiles?
Wait, that's just on Instagram. That don't include Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, and all the other fucking Telegram, and all the other platforms that they have me copied on. And the thing is Instagram disabled my account, but yet leaves 100 and something accounts up that are spelled my name but with a number behind it or an extra I or an extra R or something like that with all my pictures on there, but they don't delete those pages even if they're reported. So my solution was to trademark my name.
Nice.
So like in 2018, I started trying to trademark my name. And that's a difficult process. But because of what I do in my photography and all that, I was able to trademark my name because my name, Jerry Krasicki, is now a brand, and it's been listed as a brand, so I can use it. And now I have a DCMA agreement. So now I can send it into these platforms, and they take the pages down. And even if you have a picture of me on there, I could literally report that picture with my DCMA, and they'll have to take it down.
Smack 'em
because
down.
you're using my likeness.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever find out who any of these people were?
Yes.
Because I remember one time you posted a video, and it was like these 3 black guys, like just
In Nigeria.
And are you serious?
They're-
What? Hold on.
Okay, so they're in
Hold on,
Cameroon,
explain this shit.
Nigeria. They're in Cameroon, Nigeria. If you go to my analytics, and it shows what countries follow you, United States is like 74.4%. Nigeria is 4.7%. And then it breaks down to small percentages on 2 others. If you go by
Nigeria.
cities, Los Angeles is number 1, and then Cameroon, Nigeria is number 2, and then it's New York and Texas.
Okay, but why you though, bro? Like, why is it that they
I don't know, and I've talked to these guys
It's
live.
the dog. It's the dog.
No, she wasn't around.
But like, this is fucked up because I don't understand. Like, they have to single you out. Like that's a country going after you, bro.
I
Like,
wouldn't be surprised if my face is not painted on the side of a building out there like Kobe Bryant here. Not kidding you. No,
all right, so what happened when you talked to these people? How did you get in contact with them?
no. A friend of mine was doing a live show like this. He was on live. They went on live on his show, pretending to be me.
Oh shit!
So he texts me. He says, "Hey man, these guys are on here pretending to be you. Come on and talk to them." So I jump on and go, "I'm the real Jerry Krasicki," and then we start talking, and then they proceed to say that, you know, they're fans and everybody out there is fans of me, and they make good money using my pictures out there.
That's insane.
No shit. So then one night I'm sewing at my mom's, making some stuff, and I went live on my feed, and they jumped on, and I let somebody jump in, and it was these 3 or 4 black dudes in a house that looks like it's from a third world country because it's got like the yellow walls, the orange ceiling, dirt floors.
But yet they got the internet though.
But they got brand new iPhones. They got brand new Louis Vuitton shoes. They got Gucci shirts on. They got all the labels.
Wow.
And they're showing me where they live. So they go outside and show me their building. You can go on my Instagram and look at it because I got my Instagram back.
Where at? Lead me the way.
Yeah, it's on Jerry Krasicki.
Okay, so these guys, you meet these dudes, and they say they're what are they doing? They're laughing at you, saying like how we're using.
No, they're not laughing, and they're not laughing at me.
They're fans.
They're fans, and they're asking me to.
No.
They're asking me almost permission to continue doing it, and I'm like cease and dismiss immediately.
Do you feel a little bit of like celebrity? And I know it sucks and it's horrible, but you kind of have to feel kind of like, damn. They love me that much that you got like a lot. I mean, it sucks, but at the end of the day,
somebody said Jerry is on a box in Nigerian soap out there.
like to be known as the weed guy in Nigeria, it can't be that bad. Be like,
but now they're selling like birds. I got one page where they're selling bird eggs. One page they're selling monkeys. One page they're selling guns. One page that's like pills. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Hold on, with your as you as the dealer?
Yeah, I had a guy call me.
He's like QV. He's like,
wait. I had a guy call me. He hits me on my IG because I get my page back. And I talked to him, and he says, listen, I said, what's going on? He says, I'm waiting for the tracking number. I go, for what? And he goes, well, I sent you money for some guns. And I says, you didn't send me no money for the guns. I don't even got a gun. And he goes, well, what do you mean? And I said, bro, I'm really sorry to tell you, but you've been scammed.
You've been got.
I said, send me over all your text messages and everything. And he did. And
in Nigeria.
And that's, yeah, exactly.
That's where they get you.
Yo, that is fucked up. He said they've upgraded to selling bird eggs. Fucking, I didn't know there was money for. There you go. That's him.
I'm trying to tell you the biggest scams.
Yeah, that's
the real one.
That's the real one right there.
That's the real page right there.
Follow.
Yeah, you look in that main line right there. There's all kinds of information about the fake page.
Anybody hit you from Nigeria? Scam.
The video is up in the go up and on that line and scan across there. I think it should be in there somewhere.
Bro, because you've been dealing with this shit for a while.
Yeah, you can see those are all fake page warnings right there.
This one?
Yeah, that's one right there. That's just a scam.
Yo! That is fucked up. If this dude's I don't understand how he's scamming people out there. Like, he just tells people to send them to his bank.
Yeah, that's just one of them.
I know it sounds so dumb.
I found their real page.
Yeah, I know it's going to sound so dumb about these scammers that call you to give them that Prince died, or some people fall for it. It's one of 1,000. If one person lands, it works out.
I told the guy at the end, I was like, I hope you guys are using the money to build like a water tower.
No, they're not.
Something.
Build like a water tower?
No, they're not.
Well, they got Gucci shoes on. They don't even know.
So the thing is with this whole situation, it's been a life-threatening situation because I can't even post my grandkids on there. I'm banned from that. Can't post my family on there. Banned from that. And this has been for years. This has been going on. This is not just my recent. This is for years. So when they disabled my Instagram, that was, pretty devastating because I use my Instagram to help people. I've got a history of drug use. I got a history of knowing how to get off drugs. I got a history of being married 3 times. I know about relationships. I know about life. I got a lot of life experiences, and I don't mind talking to people when they DM me and responding to these people. You talk
to your dog?
So, yeah, I talk to my dog.
All the time. Yeah.
She lets me know when she got to go out to potty right away. It's all in. I use my page not to trap. I use my page to educate people. And because I use my page on a wide range of education, from what a DEP is, on what to look for from PM to, I just had a breakup and I'm feeling really low, and I know you guys do. This is what I'm going through. I lost my sponsor because he passed away years and years and years ago. And in 2020, when I had my breakup, I was really down and out. And I used my Instagram to keep me from falling off the wagon back on heroin and on drugs, because it was so devastating what's going on in my life, that I got so many people, and literally when I say a lot, I got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of DMs that were responding to me. So it just kind of, my Instagram became my sponsor. And now I realize how well that is, because there's a guy out there in Louisiana who reached out to me many years ago, and the DM is really like my first real reach out, and I called it a Dear Stan letter. That's kind of, you think about that song, Dear Stan. And
please don't call anyone.
That's it, baby, that's it. Yeah. So he proceeded to tell me he was on opiates, he was living in his car, he was suicidal, he's been following my page, he was just reaching out to talk to somebody. And I started talking to him about my problem, what happened with me, and I reached out and started using cannabis. And so we continued a little bit back and forth for about a month. And then as time goes on, he created a page called Medicated Cajun. And he started cooking with cannabis. That was his deal, because he liked to cook. So he started cooking, and slowly but surely he let me know he moved back in his house with his 2 kids. Slowly but surely, he let me know that he was not taking opiates anymore. And as I watched the imagery that he sent me, he was slowly gaining weight back and stuff. As a year or 2 passed by, he showed me that he was back at home and had another child on the way and was fishing with his kids, and kept thanking me for getting him off of opiates. Then he sent me a picture of some images that he took for Lowrider magazine, and showed me he got his job back at Lowrider magazine.
Damn.
Then I get a letter from his wife thanking me because I saved her whole family and created the growth and a vision for him. So now he's an advocate in Louisiana for legalization and what the benefits are of cannabis. So
damn,
you can't buy that. So when they disable my page, these are the things that devastated me the most because of my outreach because my following is not paid for. My following is from my work and my journey in life.
I mean, believe it or not, I sent E-Zone a screenshot of some guy was talking about like killing himself but we get him through the week, all our shows, GPS, Be Real show, and he was just thanking us, and I sent to E-Zone, I was like, look at this, and he's like, you better write back. I was like, I am, but I'm just letting you know, like, it's on the We Don't Smoke the Same page, and it was like, it's like people don't look at that, but sometimes just making them laugh.
You gotta recognize
but
the people.
that's not good either, B.
What do you mean?
Like sending all these negative vibes to motherfuckers.
No, I was just letting them like stay up. Thank you for appreciating the show.
You know what I'm saying? Like that shit stays in your head, B. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, with people right now in 2020, 21, there's more people that are depressed.
To stay in your head.
Mental illness is becoming a major thing because the mental illness comes out when you're locked in a location and the word social becomes a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Social distancing is a bad thing. They could have picked a different word. Because the spellings is the spellbinding words. That's why the cops only really learn to use, statutes, because those are all spellbinding sentences. And they confuse the normal human being because they don't understand the English language. You follow me?
Yep.
So a lot of people are don't know where to go from mental illness, and don't realize they have it because we're in an everyday life and they act weird or goofy
in the maze.
But when they're at home, and that's the problem with social media and the problem with these platforms for 90% of the people out there using them is because they don't live the life that I live. They don't live the life that E-Zone lives. And what we're putting on our Instagram is our life. But when you have someone that goes to Miami and they're putting up their life in the Rolls Royce that their friend rented and all the partying and everything, and all they're putting up is their A-plus shots of their selfies. Everything has got to be set up and staged. And they don't talk about their real life, and they don't show without makeup, or they don't show them without their wig on, or the guy don't show him without his shirt on because he ain't got abs, or like these things. Then when they get home and the reality sits in, that's how they become, you or them or anyone or myself will become depressed because you're living in this false reality on social media. Trying to be like E-Zone, doing all these dabs, and when E-Zone's got endless access to dabs. But they don't, but they're putting, and it's a false world. And a lot of the people, if they just would live on Instagram and show their real world and their real life and their ups and downs and be real about it, people would probably be a little bit more stable.
Man. No, you're definitely right about that, man. It's a certain persona people try to pursue when it comes to that online thing, and I feel it's like that's its own quote unquote metaverse in itself. You know what I mean?
And for me,
the social
that's
media
why the
shit.
fake pages affect me, because they're using my persona on something I don't believe in, and it's not my lifestyle, and it's not what I do. So I get depressed by that because I don't have control over it. But if you got control over your own Instagram, then be real about it.
I mean, not to say it's the same thing, but like it's like when girls have fake pages and like, oh, I got an OnlyFans, and this girl's like a normal girl, like was a nurse. And she's like, no, I don't. Like, I really don't got an OnlyFans, and people subscribe and they lose money because they're creepy fools. Of like, I've always wanted to see homegirl as a nurse.
That's a really good point that you brought up about OnlyFans page, and I want to reflect that onto Instagram or on Snapchat or any of these platforms, because when they disabled my account, I was kind of like spun, so I created another account and it got disabled 2 days later, so it was really spun. And then they duplicated the account that got deleted, so now I'm really spun. So I made this dog an account and started researching other platforms. Where can I express my lifestyle? There's really none out there to do it. But as I signed up for these platforms, OnlyFans has the hardest sign-up platform of them all. And that's the thing with the IG.
To become a content creator?
You need an ID. You need to show ID and everything.
When you go to Instagram, like right now, we could sit here and create an email address, create everything, and make a page, and make a fake page of E-Zone, and tell them
or Cairo,
and put a dress on him and all this. Stays part of the LBGT. But that's how easy it is to ruin somebody. But you go to OnlyFans, you have to go through a 3 or 4 step process. You have to have a certain image with a certain pixelation, so they can do biometrics when you put your face up to the screen.
Oh shit! That high tech?
Listen, I've tried like 4 or 5 times to make an OnlyFans page because I thought, hell, I'll just bring all my cannabis content over to the OnlyFans page, and I can start showing all the, the grows and the pounds and talking about all the shit that I like to talk about and rolling 60-gram blunts and
there we
shit
go.
I like to fucking do.
Yeah, he does roll 60.
I believe that shit. I can tell he does. Yeah, I believe that shit.
And I just gave up. Said, fuck it. I can't sign up. Yeah. But yet, these guys we can sit here and make some fake pages right now of me. And spell my name like backwards and forwards and... and there's no control over it. So where is the protection?
But can't you use that to your benefit?
Oh, I do, to a certain degree.
To. Like,
it just puts my persona out there on a wider spread.
Yeah, your fucking name is banging. They doing a little footwork for you.
But however, it's not a positive footwork that they're doing. It's not like I got PR companies out there doing positive things.
Yeah, they're scamming people with money.
Negative.
Yeah, but it's
still
at the end of the day, your fucking name is banging everywhere.
It is. So
I know, man.
That's how I see it when they do that shit to me. My shit is bootlegged everywhere. Yeah. So it's like, I'm like, fuck it, keep pumping that shit.
Well, I just hope they're doing something positive with it.
Yeah. Your people are not scamming out there, motherfuckers. That are out there like send me 10K for 20 pounds.
Here's a new scam. Here, y'all listen to this one. Well, let me tell you.
Oh yeah, I bet you know all the scams
I know exactly
now. Yeah.
what's going on.
All right, put us up on game, dog. What's going on?
My friend Chief Keith, he lives up in Humboldt. He got 8,000 followers. Blah blah blah. I get a DM from him. I've been talking to him about Bitcoin since 2017. You need to buy some. Because I'll be buying it, collecting it and so forth. And I said, you can get on Cash App. It's easy. Just whatever people owe you money, just put it on Cash App, buy Bitcoin, and forget about it. Well, recently, I get a message from him. Hey, man, I put $500 into Bitcoin, and I invested it in a Bitcoin mining thing with this girl, Sabrina, and I've already made 10 grand on it. And I was like, damn, all right. So I said, give me a call. I get another message back. It says, hey, go check out where she's at. I didn't click on the link. I called him.
Wow.
I said, hey, bro, what's going on, man? Why don't you answer me? He said, man, my page got hacked. I go, what? He said, yeah, they got me. He said, what they did is they told me that they were going to hook me up with the Bitcoin thing, right? So they asked for his email. Well, the email that he gave him is connected to his Instagram. So they took his email and his information. He sent them $500 worth of Bitcoin.
Damn.
And then he said he went to log back in, and his account within 5 minutes was taken over.
I mean, it's just simple. Anything that's too good to be true is probably a scam.
And once you locked out, you locked out.
Then it happened to now my friend
100%.
Amy Simpson works with Mike over at Advanced Nutrients. She does all his parties, all his PR, all this stuff. She was on there. She got a DM, clicked on it. They took over her account, and then I got the same messages, and I called her up. And she says, yeah, they're sending all my followers this, and some of them, my boys had 300 people fall for it. So you start doing the math on $500 worth of Bitcoin on these scams. So you have to be really careful on what you click on
who you fucking with.
in your DMs now, because they have a back door on those things.
Exactly. Trap door.
A trap door. And the only line of trap I like is the door where they got the packs in there. Can I tell you something else I got going on? I'm officially, you can pull this page up.
Yeah.
It's called Bazooka Blunts.
Jerry, you don't even finish your whole blunt, bro. He stopped, he lit another one, then he just goes back.
Baller shit. Don't worry about it. Leave him alone.
Look, you see that shit?
I know,
he just stops,
fool.
goes.
It's right here.
I can do that too, dude.
This right here is the Bazooka Blunt. I used to love to do the Packwood thing. I was with them for a long time, broke away. I started doing some other stuff. Then this other company created the Bazookas. They hired me to be their ambassador now. They got 2 grams of flour in them with Levada Gold. They come with these are with tobacco on them. They're quite nice, actually, to be honest with you. If you go to the Instagram in a minute here, that's what they look like right there.
Nice.
They're naked. They're not covered up with a bunch of distillate and a bunch of keef and all that bullshit to make them taste good.
That's a blunt?
Yeah, this is a blunt.
How long you been
Blizzy?
How long you been doing that for?
For a little bit now.
Yeah.
And where can they pick that up?
There's some places that we're going to be announcing if you go on to the Instagram, Bazooka Blunts. It's a Z on it, Bazookas, and we'll give information on it there.
Dope,
and then we're going to do a hemp wrap when we have that also.
He's on ready to hit that shit.
I remember you had I for sure I'd be fucking with him. I remember you had.
There you go. There we go. Follow that page.
Go ahead, follow that
All
page.
right, thank you, Jerry.
You can look at if you scan down a little bit. There's here. You want one too?
Shit's cool.
Here, y'all take one.
For the weekend.
Yeah, here.
What is
Appreciate
it?
it. Thank you.
Lavada Gold?
Yes, there you go. There's a picture of the cups, how we measure them out.
So that's what's in the cup is what gets rolled up?
Yeah, so that's Lavada Gold. They crush it up and then mix it up in there.
What's Lavada Gold? The crumble?
It's a high grade crumble that's not CRC, and it also is lab tested.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you can see some of the homies.
There we go.
COVID tested?
Everything's
tested.
COVID
But
tested.
they don't practice social distancing, though. We thought about, during social distancing, I thought, man, it'd be cool to make a tip where you just It has a magnet on it, so everybody has a tip, so you can still pass the blunt around.
Yeah.
Or hell, you know the poor
I've
kid-
seen that, Jerry.
Yeah.
I've actually seen that, bro.
Really?
Yes, I seen a product like that on Instagram. They were trying to sell it to me, and I think it was, I think it was fucking Stoner Rob that like he was like, hey, I just got this new product, and then he's like, now I could just smoke with my friend, and he takes it. He's like, cause it's a magnet
No
tip.
kidding. I was thinking, you know.
Ezo just loves his own joint. He'd rather give you one than share it.
Hey, listen.
That's Ezo right there. I love him for that.
I remember going to the first Cannabis Cup in Amsterdam, and we went into a room that was smaller than the studio where they had all the tables set up, and you had to take a ferry over to it and shit. It's like fucking 28 degrees outside and sprinkling rain. Everybody got their backpacks on full of little bags of weed and shit. And there was a few tables with products. And, you know, as stoners, when we were kids, we were always making pipes out of everything. I mean, we used to cut where they were doing that construction place I was telling you about, we burnt the house down. We used to cut the pipes out of the walls and make these big-ass bongs with the plumbing pipes and shit. And you think about, like, Bert downstairs who did cloud pens.
Yeah.
You know, back in the
Bart?
day. Bart, yeah, back in the day. There's so many products.
called
This
the
thing
Bert.
right here in front of us, that was made back then.
Yeah.
The pump.
Stun it.
Yeah, but back in the day, we would just take water bottles and do it, you know. And
Yeah.
shit. So it's been fun to watch because when they did the product awards, there was only maybe a handful of products back then. You had Raw Papers.
Yeah, there
Josh,
was. Yeah.
a few of them, and I got pictures of all of this.
I do remember that was it was a while, man. Like Cloudpan, like all these vaporizers, all these things were like even everything from a Puffco. That's just the evolution of the first vaporizer that was out there, bro. Cause like,
And that's when loyalty in the weed game ended.
Yeah.
When I was doing the cannabis, when it was really illegal, you couldn't tell anybody where your grow was.
you've been to jail for weed.
Yeah, you couldn't tell anybody where your
Right.
stuff was. You couldn't take pictures and post it up. You wouldn't tell your best friend where your shit was. You know, it was so taboo. That's why me putting my name on all the pictures in the past has been so. That's
Hey,
what you know.
I've been locked up for weed,
Yeah, I've been locked up for weed, and
so
you know, it's
I'm
what it
just-
is.
just
I just
what
want to
it
get my
is.
record expunged from it.
So
You know.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
But
Squeeze.
Well, thank you guys though. Because for you guys for getting locked up and going through the shit you guys went through, it's kind of we got it the easy
Yeah,
way.
so
Where
watch
I've never,
out. But-
I lived in that day where it was pretty much, it's always been medical legal at least for when I started smoking.
yeah, that was around.
I never had
2000.
that illegal shit where it was really doing time for smoking some weed.
Best believe a cop could do what the fuck he want to do.
Yeah.
And he gonna arrest you even if you smoking.
Yeah.
But, you know, so don't think you safe all the time.
Oh, yeah.
But always smoking. No. But it's interesting to watch how products have evolved in the technical game with vaporizers and grinders and different wraps and different pipes, and then the dabbing thing came along, and it's just been interesting to watch.
Do you remember seeing your first dab?
Yes.
How was it? How hot was it?
Okay, so dig this, man. I went from an avid smoker to getting arrested in 2011 in Florida. My house was raided, got caught with 11 pounds, half-pound hash. A very good friend of mine that I broke bread with had gotten in trouble. We did not know that. He set up operations against me and other people. You can look up the articles online. They're still there. So Bob set everybody up, got busted, and I went to jail for a little bit of time, but meanwhile, I bonded out finally after about a month and a half. I put all my stuff up for sale. I had a girl that I was dating that lived in California.
Yeah, vinyl? Any records?
I have all that stuff back in storage.
Nice.
Stacks of, man, I got so much. I got a 10 by 30 full of my life that's been in there because of when I had to move out of my house of 35 years. But I still have the house, but I had to move out because of out of town completely. And my bondsman, he was cool enough to let me move out of Florida to California during my trial. So while I was over there, in California, I got to go to the first medical cup, which was in November or something around 2011 in San Bernardino. So I was taking pictures for High Times. I took my girl with me, and she didn't smoke weed at all. She's an Indian girl, and she's walking around with an umbrella and doesn't even. But I go in to start taking pictures, and Greenleaf Magazine said, "Hey, I need you to take pictures of this guy named Wax Willie." I had no clue who Wax Willie was, but I found Wax Willie. And so now, mind you, I've been in jail, so I haven't been smoking pot or anything at all. So we get there, and I'm on parole or on bond. On
Probation?
No, I'm out on bond, $160,000 bond. So
Damn.
I don't want to violate the bond.
Yeah.
So, but the only person that really violate the bond is my bondsman or me fucking up. But as soon as I got here, I got a medical card, and I got a California driver's license the very first day when I got here, and so that helped me out. So I'm walking around, found Wax Willie.
Wax Willie.
You know him?
No.
He's a super bomb ass dude. He made this. He made this shit called dabs.
That's my boy.
I remember back in the day when we would take butane and put it through tubes and blow this shit out, but it didn't look nothing like
Open blast.
This is back in the 90s, right? Oh, yeah. So I take the pictures of him for Brett over at Greenleaf and everything, and he goes, "Hey, do you want to do a dab?" And I'm like, "I guess." So I bend over this bowl. He's firing up the thing, heating up the nail. Back then, man, you'd make the nail
Red.
It would be this color. Yeah, it'd be that color, man.
That shit was so horrible, bro. And especially you were doing it off titanium, bro.
Titanium nails, man.
Titanium nail. I remember
So
I would walk into dispensaries and they'll be like, I would be at a certain time, be like, "Oh, you want a free dab? You know that's what I came for." And
How black was that? Black wax too.
So I take the dab, and as I'm dabbing, I look over, and he's got all these little squares with all these different names, and one said abusive OG. I'm an OG guy. I'm an OG. That was one of the first things I had. I had Hell's Angels OG back in the day that I grew with Purple Haze in Florida. So I was like, "Oh, can I do one of those?" You know, like, it's all right. And they were selling dabs for like $5 a dab or whatever, right? And he's like, "Sure, no problem." So I did the one dab, and it was okay. And I didn't feel nothing right away. And then I did another one, and then I got up and I started to walk. And I swear to God, man, like fucking I was on a boat in 8-foot seas. My whole body just starts floating. And literally, it was the highest I'd felt in decades. So I have my phone in my hand, camera in the other hand. All of a sudden, Satya texts me, "Where are you?" I'm like, "Fuck, oh God."
High as fuck.
I'm high. I don't even know. So, and they had the medical parts like separated from everything back then, so you had to go to a special area for medical, remember? So I tried to walk around the edge, and I walk around, and I get to the gate, and I'm walking out, and everything's just in slow motion. And here she comes walking up with this white umbrella on, right? I said, "I got to go in the hall." Danny Danko's doing a
Danny Danko.
You know, what the fuck are them things where they're doing
a panel.
He's doing a panel. I go into the barn. As I'm walking in, there's some friends from Amsterdam I haven't seen in a while. They're wanting to talk. Homie, I cannot talk. I want to go sit down. My girl looks at me, and she looks at me. She says, "You've been doing that funny business." And I said, "Yeah, I did this thing called a dab." I go sit down. Danny Danko, Bobby Black, DJ Short. I sat through like 5 panels for like 4.5 hours.
No more pictures were taken?
No more pictures.
That was it? Whatever you took before that, that was it?
I usually take like 2,000-3,000 pictures at an event. I had like 84 pictures.
Wow.
So that was my first dab. I'm not a big dabber.
No? To this
I like
day,
my
no?
flower. No, because I got to judge the cups, so I got to appreciate the art of flower and curing the flower versus today's generation, like B-Zone, they use it as like pre-run. Like, you know, they use it to. They don't care how it really.
No, I've learned to appreciate it.
Yeah, over
more,
time because you're around B-Real.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, he don't smoke blunts no more. Rarely does he smoke blunts now.
Like, no, I do. I still do, but it's like, I do it on my own time. You know what I mean? Just out of respect. It's just, I mean, Beast taught me some shit.
How do you feel when you smoke a blunt?
Just,
That's
it's just habit.
It's another high though, right?
Yeah, it's like a little bit more lightheaded.
You have to get used to that.
Yeah, it's a heavier high.
So when I got to California,
Because you're getting high with the
Tobacco.
tobacco.
blunt, not even tobacco.
They
just the
burn
blunt.
hotter.
Yeah, it's
So
a
the
blunt.
tobacco burns at a hotter temperature, so it causes it to THCA and to decarb the weed. It's more stronger. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a fact, but smoke a paper, it's different.
Do you, you're really good, like, with smoking weed. What do you think about shrooms? Do you dabble in that a little bit back in the day?
This is where I got this from Soma after a full moon tea
Shroom
party in
Church.
Amsterdam
From who?
in 2006.
Who'd you get that from?
Soma.
Who's that?
Soma, he created White Widow, New York Diesel. He's in Amsterdam. Look him up. Soma Seeds.
Word.
And you did shrooms with him?
The only reason Soma's not in the United States is because he had an issue back in the day and they won't let him come back here. So he has to stay in
Amsterdam.
And it's unfortunate because he's one of the original OGs with like Aaron and Donnie from DNA Genetics, Buddha from Buddha Seeds, Bear, which I don't know him from Amsterdam, and some of that 410 grower, that whole crew. But he can't come here and be recognized, so he doesn't get to do the events like we used to go to Amsterdam. You know, he was like a main dude that would do all the seminars, and he's a really spiritual guy, super, super, super killer. Wow. And when I met him, we became immediate close, and he gave me some seeds, and over the years, I have a whole bank of seeds over these years of different stuff that I've collected on my travels.
There you go.
Damn, man, that's like. So you probably had some old school stuff.
So every full moon in November, he does a full moon tea party, and I was there after the Cannabis Cup, and he invited me to it. And basically all day they take a big pot, and they have in Amsterdam mushrooms are legal, so he had
truffles,
like 15
truffles?
different kinds of mushrooms on the counter, and he's putting them all in the bowl. He's got cinnamon sticks, putting them in there, as well as on his ledge he grows peyote. So he's got these buttons that are like this big, you know. So he takes one down and cuts that up and throws it in there, and they boil it. And at midnight, after everybody sits around, he usually has like 10 or 12 people in there, because that's the room for it. And in the middle is all his crystals. If you look at his website, you'll see all his crystals, and his crystals are massive. They're big. Yeah. And the energy's good. So you lay down on a pad that he's got, you pick a spot, and I always pick this one spot that had these kids and a family holding hands, and it was a tree and all these colors and pastels, because when you tripped it looked like it was moving. So you would, at midnight, everybody would get a glass about this big, and you would drink the tea, and then you'd just go over there and lay down. And then he'd have a couple elders that walked around, and you weren't really allowed to get up and do anything. You just had to lay there and just be within you. And whatever was within you was going to come out. And
damn, that shit does not sound like when we do mushrooms. Right?
No,
you know what I mean?
we do it a whole
yeah,
different
like
way.
We shit
I get antsy.
and the thing is some people might be over here wallowing in their area crying and getting things out of their life, and then some people are laughing, and some people find their purpose and whatever's going on. And then at a certain point, like a couple hours, and we'll do that for like 2 hours, you'll lay there or more, and then he has a certain song set, and he'll put it on, and then he'll turn it on, and then just kind of wake up, and then you get up.
Like it was music? What did he play, the Beatles?
No, it's more spiritual.
Sounds,
like
all sounds. It's all sounds.
Beats and tribal beats and things of that nature. And then you would kind of walk around, and some people weren't walking around. Some people might still be over there just crying, or I even cried a little bit. You get things out, it's therapy.
Get it out of your system.
And was really a great experience. And then you're saging and whatnot, and then you go out on his rooftop, and it's like cold outside, but you be in your shorts and sweating, and
like it's over pretty much when the sunrise comes up, right?
Sunrise,
is that when it starts you start peeking down? That's the point of it, taking that 12 at night, because right when the sun comes up,
that's it.
You start coming. You
Start coming down, yeah.
So when that happened, he gave me this flower of life. And at that point in time in my life, I didn't know what that was. I knew I liked crystals and minerals and things of that nature. You know, I've always been in touch with nature, Mother Earth, you know. And he solidified a lot of that. And, and when I got this, I've had this ever since. And the flower of life's become a really predominant symbol along America now, too, because Americans are kind of just weren't into that. But you see more and more people trying to find their way in their spiritualism some way or another. And this right here is the oldest geometric design known to mankind. And it's been found under the ocean where Atlantis. It's been found in pyramids. It's been found in caves. It's been found in places before Christ.
Damn.
Yeah, so
that's the tree of life?
Yeah. No, it's a flower of life.
Oh,
the tree of life is inside of this.
Oh.
So, and everything's mathematical.
Yep.
But if you look at this symbol, and you really start focusing on this symbol, you'll start seeing it all around you. On shirts, on not just this symbol, but certain lines from it, how things move in symmetrics.
Damn. Man, this food goes deep, dog. People are saying in the chat room that this food needs his own show on the Discovery Channel.
Oh, shut up. I just really wanted, honestly, son, I really wanted to just get out, and I appreciate you inviting me on the show. It's been a while because I've been laying low. But the Instagram thing was very devastating because, like I say, I use that platform to help people.
Yeah.
And it helps me because I'm real. If I'm happy one day, you're going to know it. If I'm down, you're going to know it. And I'm probably going to tell you why I'm down because you know what? You probably got the same shit going on in your life and you're down too. And you might be getting ready to do something stupid. And when I'm talking to you and bring the reality is of where you can go and grow, that benefits me.
You said you lived in Miami for really long, like not Miami, but Florida, around
Florida,
there. Did you ever see that cocaine boom? Did you live that cocaine boom where you saw that Scarface and everybody had money and you saw did you live that? And
I used to go down into Kendall and pick it up and down in the Cuban neighborhoods. My friends were Cuban. I at the age of 19 to 20 years old, there was a shrimp boat that was sunk just right off of the coast of Everglades City in Naples that was sunk, and then the boys stole the weed on it, which was in bales, and they stole 35,000 pounds.
Whoa.
And I just happened to know Randy, and I bought 100 pounds of it from Randy, not knowing that it was stolen. But I knew some of the people, because it's a small clique down there. So I'm trying to sell it over to this other guy, and then so this other guy sets up a sale, and then when I go over to the industrial park to sell it, 5 or 6 Cubans and a Colombian and a few others and all trucks pull up, and they pull gun on me, put it in the back of my head, blindfold me, tie me up, throw me in the back of the truck.
Narco shit.
Put the topper over it. They drive me out to the Everglades to a house where there's other people there also tied up, and they want their weed, and the story goes on. It's another story.
Another day. We'll bring you. Yeah.
That was crazy stuff back in the day. And then at that point, when they stopped the shrimping netting down there, the mulleting, using the nets, that's how the shrimpers and the crab stoners and all of those guys got into the pot hauling, was because the government took away their income. Right. If you look up a book, and
that's what's happening
right now. If you look up a book called Saltwater Cowboys on Amazon, look it up.
So
you pull it up on the screen. That's a friend of mine, Tim McBride. He ran the largest international cannabis smuggling empire in the world.
So the shrimpers, the people catching the shrimp and the crabs, were somehow
instead they were making money bringing in the bales.
That's
because
that's crazy.
So then the DEA got involved, but that's where the $10,000. If you really want to know the story, you have to watch my friend Tim McBride. He tells the story.
I'm gonna read that book.
He got arrested. He was facing a 4-year life term, or 4 10-year terms. So he was facing 4 10-year terms. For smuggling like 400,000 pounds, they accused him of. I think they took over $19 million from him. He went to prison. He was in the law library. He used to help guys get divorces and all of this and that. There it is right there.
Saltwater
If you look on the inside of that cover, my name's on the inside of that cover. No, that's not it. Saltwater Cowboys, the book.
I think that might be a movie.
That's not it. It's not it. And in there, he found a fine line that put him in a statute of limitations that got him out of prison. So when they let him out, they gave him immunity to tell the story of how in the hell did you guys bring so much marijuana into Everglades City and then drive it down 29 and then down Alligator Alley to Miami, and how did you get it out of there? Because there's only one road in, one road out.
Yeah.
So he wrote a book about us back then and all the group and everything that went on, and it's a really interesting book. You can find it's called Saltwater Cowboys on Amazon. It's a book.
Check it out.
Not a movie. It's got him standing there with his arms. There it is, right there. I took that picture of him in my backyard. He has some podcasts on there too. He does.
Nice. You can. Buy Kindle, but audiobook, you can listen to it right there.
So during that time,
Yeah, that's crazy.
of the marijuana industry going on, marijuana was bulky, and that's when this lady Giselle Blancas
Of course.
bringing in cocaine, and then all of a sudden it was easier to bring in a duffel bag than it was to bring in a whole boat that was loaded with weed all the way, to the top to where you just see out. So and you could make more money doing it, no matter if you were bringing in the bags or you were doing small work. And back then, a kilo of cocaine was maybe $5,000 to $7,000.
Yep.
So that's where all that was going, and that's how that all started with the coke back then.
$50.
And it all of a sudden was everywhere.
Well, it's always
Yeah, the second it came into town it was just
You probably can take the CIA for that one.
definitely. Now you can
But
think
yeah,
of everything.
That book's really interesting. Tim did a good job writing it. He's a good friend. I admire him. He should have more recognition than he's probably getting. We could probably have him here.
We'll give him some. Some people will go buy that book.
Yeah,
Definitely. I'm gonna check it out. It sounds right
He's
up my
got more
alley.
interesting life than I do back then. Like, way interesting. His tales of flying into Colombia with, fake runways made out, going in and picking out bales using bamboo and sticking it in the bale and pulling it out and smelling it and in the jungle and driving through the jungle with guns. I mean, he's got a lot of stories just besides what happened in America, going to get it. It's a really good book.
God damn, going to get it. Like, that was going to the plug.
Imagine that type of life.
Yeah, now go to the plug. Where's the plug at?
Right down the street.
On every corner.
At every corner. At every sesh, bro.
At every set.
At every sesh, bro. Everybody's a fucking plug.
Giving it to you pretty much.
Those were major suppliers though. Like that's gonna supply your whole.
You know what's funny is to watch the younger
Big time.
generation making so much money. So
Off of crypto, NFT, or just in general?
No, off of in the beginning of 2011 to up around 17, all the ones that were making oil and making the wax and doing that, these young 18, 19, 22, 23-year-olds making the pens, all of a sudden they're making $1 million a month, a week, building brands it's just amazing. And now, you got the legal market and now, but
It's impossible to get in there now.
it makes it tough for the generation too that don't have those abilities because they want to live like that.
Yeah.
So now they got TikTok.
I mean, it's almost not like people would be like, oh, I'll just sell some weed and make a little bit of money. But it's like now that it's like more legal, it's like you're gonna have to be selling something else if you're really thinking about getting into the hustle game,
Yeah, and there's so many facets of the business. I mean, it depends on what your talent is. And there's everybody, you can cook, you can manufacture, You could be a graphics artist. You could be a clothing designer and come up with cool cannabis information. There's so many facets of the business besides just growing the weed or selling the weed. You could be a documentary person and do documentaries on this. You could be a bud tender. It's endless what cannabis does for the human population.
I mean, we all know a lot of glass blowers. They need marketing. They're very in their business, and they always need someone that talks. Because they're so in their fucking life about making this glass. So if you want to, hey, can I do your marketing? A lot of glass blowers will be like, especially if you're like, I'll do it for free. If you see profit, we'll talk later. That's how you start off. But a lot of glass blowers that I know, they're like, dude, why is your marketing so low? He's like, I'm not that person that wants to record
they
me.
just sit there and make shit
all day. They make
lane.
the dopest shit. Sometimes I'm like, how do you only have 5,000 followers? And they're like, I'm just kind of, I post because I kind of need to sell shit. And I'm like, no, you could be huge.
You know what? And you make a good point there. You have to invest in yourself. And you can't look for investors to invest in you first. You have to invest in yourself to have something to show your investors. And glass blowers, like, I'm gonna give him. I'm gonna say it because
free game.
I like this guy. A lot of people are upset with him for whatever the reason, but Dougie over at Hitman Glass.
Oh yeah, I like Dougie.
I love the guy. I've watched him be beat to the ground, and that sumbitch hangs onto his shoestrings, and his collarbones are titanium.
Oh.
And he's got a glass company, and he invests in himself. And when he went outside sources to get investments,
they ripped him off.
It was ripped him off, and it was his downfall. And they took it. And not only did they take it, they took his shows. Everything was against him. However, that's an example of a glass blower who can be innovative and make it work. And he is making it work. No matter how bad, he's got his own bag line now. So he's a visionary. Glass blowers are visionaries to do it. So you need somebody. You coming out of college and you studied marketing? Hell yeah.
Hit up a glass blower and be like, hey, if I show you money, we'll talk later. And now people don't start asking for money. Like, you haven't proved anything yet. Like, show us up. And be like, yeah.
Yeah.
And they can pay well. They'll notice when they see, oh shit, I sold two extra pieces in this month. Because some of those pieces go for like 3 or 4K. So if you sell one piece, he'll be like, holy shit, it'll add up. That's 24 pieces in a whole year. He'll be like, holy shit.
Listen, man, the kids now are selling sneakers, making $200K.
Oh, like wild. I love when I see kids selling sneakers.
This going to devastate the younger generation because the government, the government is going to
crack down.
It's not the government, the IRS and the government are cracking on. Cash App. You've got all these kids that have been doing Cash App plays. Listen, Supreme clothing, Jordan sneakers, they all sell for over $600.
All
These
ran
kids
by
got
the
Cash
government
App
too.
stuff going back and forth.
All ran by the government too.
They ain't saving money for taxes. And what's going to happen? They're going to tarnish them at a young age, and it's going to hurt them in the longer run.
That's just going to send them to crypto.
In the crypto.
Send them to crypto. If you got crypto and I got crypto, why not tell you?
Okay, I got crypto, and guess what?
God love.
I had somebody want to send me USTC. Listen, guys.
Tether?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They sent me USTC on the 14th. On the 16th of January to Crypto.com because they've been advertising and whatnot, and I have all my Bitcoin.
I have a whole stadium out here in LA.
So I put all my Bitcoin over from one spot into Crypto.com.
That's not a wallet, though.
I know, but I was going to play with them with some NFTs and do some other things.
Okay, all right.
So, and I have been collecting them since 2017, so I just put them all together. I go to log in because I want to buy a plane ticket and some tickets to the Tampa Rams game to take my dad and surprise him. I went to log in. It said you need to re-sign in. I was like, shit. Okay, so I re-signed in. I went to use my authenticator app. It wouldn't do it. But when I went to check my email, it said you need to put this new code in to verify your email. So I did through Crypto.com. Reloaded a new Google Authenticator app because it wouldn't recognize the first one I had anymore. Got into my account, and all the Bitcoin were gone, but 0.0000001.
Nothing.
Damn.
And there was, and so it was 1:00 in the morning, and I was just like, Luckily, I was on the toilet because I fucking shit myself. And then I'm thinking, because we're talking about
Good thing you were there already.
man, I'm going to tell you what. And so I tried to look again, and it wasn't.
Where'd it go? Did it say? It should be on the blockchain.
So I went down and I looked at the completes and incompletes. Man, they were taking out 0.2 all O's, and it was ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. There's like 15, 18, 20 withdrawals, all within like a 15-minute period of time. And so I contact customer support, told them what happened, sent them screenshots of everything. They sent me a text message back. I called up a couple of my buddies. I said, you better check your thing. Meanwhile, I'm calling my other buddy, bitching at him because I think he cracked my wallet. He checked his. He can't get in either. They get in. Some of them lost their money. Some of them didn't. One guy lost $16 million.
16
million.
That's it.
So immediately I start looking.
Damn,
I start looking
dude.
on their site, so we send in more help questions, and finally, after about 4 days, I start Googling, and it shows that they'd been compromised. And it also showed that they had $750 million worth of insurance, because they had to have insurance if they're doing the stadium and all of these things. But if you have a Crypto.com wallet, you better look at it.
Yeah, well, it's not really a wallet; it's an
16 million.
exchange.
Exchange,
Yeah, you got to put it on a wallet.
So I bought a hard
Yeah, a ledger.
ledger.
Yep, we had some
Treasure.
guy talk about here on
I
last
got my
time.
treasure, and I'm moving it all over there because I don't use it anyway.
Yeah, don't have it on your phone. There's no reason, unless you're day trading. There's no reason to have your crypto on your phone.
And then I left some for doing NFTs. So my granddaughter started doing NFTs. Listen, when a 7-year-old asks you for a Ethereum so she can start her collection, you got to scratch your head on that one.
And you said, "Fuck it," gave her some
her
Ethereum.
$700
There we
worth
go.
of Ethereum. She set up WeCat. So it's on OpenSea called WeCat. And so I went on there and bought.
Did she drew everything up?
She's doing all the drawings.
Dope,
So
cool.
she has her WeCat, and now she's going to do a Smoky Cat. And so I bought a couple of them. And a couple friends, I think, are going to buy a couple of them because you're talking about a 7-year-old who's testing in the top 2% in the United States in mathematics and
There we go.
English. And
Damn.
she's super smart. So
Should have gave her more than 700.
so for Christmas, I gave her like a writing pad to do all her art and do all her 3D graphics to step it up a notch.
Yeah.
Because you never know in years if she gets into this, these NFTs could be worth something. As well as I got a friend that does Brat Pack.
I mean, someone here might buy it.
Maybe.
I mean, it's a 7-year-old. I'm pretty sure they're not like.
No, they're not much.
Exactly. They'll be a little bit later. They'll be worth more when you're
could
when.
be.
Yeah,
Look up Brat Pack. A buddy of mine's doing Brat Pack. And he's been selling those. He did 11,000 Brat Packs, and he's selling them, and he's doing real well with it. And so I bought some of those. I bought a little bit of this.
there we go.
And
It's fun.
I haven't really sold
Somebody said, I'm surprised the feds don't show up for a $16 million scam. That's because the feds ain't involved in it yet, right?
Well, I'm sure that they're talking to Crypto.com in some fashion or another. Yeah, I imagine they are. Shoot, I
Yeah.
bet everybody's involved with that.
Damn, 16 million.
But right now, my coins, as of the other day, are sitting back in the wallet, but its whitelist is temporary
Yeah, waiting.
disabled.
Yeah.
So you can't
Pending.
even move your money around if you have crypto.
Don't worry, crypto. It's down the shithole right now. I think Bitcoin hit 40,000 for the first time in a
Yeah,
while.
so right now probably be a good time to buy.
Good
some
time
more.
to buy. Yeah, in Ethereum, good time to
I've been
buy.
buying that shit since it was like $3,300.
There we
Slide
go.
The
Buy Bitcoin.
psychoshop.com.
Yeah.
Dude, when I got arrested in 2011, I was standing at the exchange at Coastland Center Mall with a friend of mine named Brian.
What'd you?
And
Where?
he was before I got busted. And he was like, "Man, you got to buy this shit called Bitcoin." And it was like $200 a coin. And I was like, no, I want to buy Iraqi dinar. Because the war was going on, and then it was over, and they're talking about the currency might come up, and if Iraqi dinar went up, it's 10 cents, you're going to make a bunch of money, right? So instead of that, buying the Bitcoin, I bought some Iraqi dinar, and then I went home, and I was like, I might buy the Bitcoin just to have it, right? I went to Miami. We were going to come to California, me and my girl. That's when Bob called me. asked me to come back over to Naples because he needed some weed. So I said, all right, I'll come back over. I figured, fuck it, while I'm over there, I'll buy the Bitcoin too from Brian. So I was going to give $25,000 worth of Bitcoin from Brian, sell the 11 pounds to Bob, take off to California with the chick, right? I wasn't in trouble.
Living the dream.
My kids could stay at the house. Well, no, it did not work out that way. At 4:30 in the morning, my house got raided by the DEA and the drug marshals, and they found that 11 pounds because when I came over, I got it for Bob, and I hit him up, and he says, well, I'm in a poker game. I can come by the house at 9 o'clock in the morning and pick it up. And I'm like, fucker, man. I'm going to California, bro. So I was like, okay, I'll wait. And then that happened. And he ended up being, because in Florida, the informant has to come out. But while I was in California, he got busted with another ring called the Mario Brothers in Naples with 20 dudes on a big pot scam by a whole nother narcotics division. So now the DA's got him in there as being an informant, plus he's getting arrested. So he's got like 6 cases going against him, and that's really what helped me with my case was that. And I got 5 years probation, fines, and then I ended up being able to move from Naples because I was already established living here, so I did my probation over here. Yeah. And then while I was here the first month, they told me I had to come back because I didn't have family over here. So then the girl I was with said, fuck it, let's go get married. So we went downtown, got two $35 rings, went up to the courthouse, got married. And I go, y'all, fuck y'all, I'm not going back. And I stayed there. And I got off in a year and a half, and it was so crazy. You'd go to probation, and you'd have to leave your weed out in a box because you weren't allowed to take it in the building. I'm like, crazy.
To leave it out in a box?
Yeah, they say, please leave your medical cannabis out here. You can't bring it in.
Wow. Yeah, because you smoke everywhere, Jerry.
Everywhere.
Like this, like, bro, just everywhere.
Listen, it's been...
You got in trouble in the airport one time.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, bro. Man, tell him about that,
Yeah, I need to hear this, because there's signs everywhere that says, don't smoke.
Bro, no, Jerry, that man, hey, doesn't say no stash and dash. Yeah, dude.
So I do these things called stash and dashes, where I take products and I stash them, and they usually have a 60-gram joint that I roll also in it. And
on top of all this shit,
okay.
Top of all the shit, like
this is a primo stash.
Usually
it's a little bit. Yeah, this was going all out. All right, I need to hear the story.
So I'd been doing them in California, I've been doing them in Vegas and everything, and I was going to the Super Bowl.
And you do them like at the mall, at any random parking lot?
I do them in strange places, and then I give clues of where I'm at, and they try to find me. So I decided I was going to do one in Atlanta when I went to the Super Bowl. So I rolled everything up, and I put it in my... Usually I take everything in my carry-on, because they don't care when you're leaving in your carry-on. So, but this time... But I had gotten caught in the airport like a few months prior to that with 3/4 of a pound in my carry-on, and they got pissed at me. But they let me call a friend and come and pick it up. That's a whole nother story.
They still let you keep it?
Yeah, and the cop told me you should have just put it in your check-on, and I was like, well, it's too late for that now. And so I figured, okay, this time to Atlanta, I'll put it in my check-on. So I sealed it up, I rolled it up, I put it in wrapping paper, looked like little presents and shit, all the tanks, everything for the stash and dash. Get on the plane, check it, everything's cool. Guy sitting next to me, this older Jewish man and his wife, were talking about weed. I gave him a couple blunts out of my bag and stuff, you know. Get off the plane, I'm waiting on my bag. My bag's the last one to come up.
Oh, shit.
My dad just had flown in to meet me. I got the Super Bowl tickets. I got like 10 grand in the envelope. I'm ready to go. Fucking, I go to grab my bag. I go to walk away. And there comes up this dude with long dreads. And all I seen when he grabbed me by the arm right in front of me was his badge. And he says, "Is that your suitcase?" And I looked at him and I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Is there anything in there illegal?" And I said, "Not that I know of, no." And he says, "Well, you're going to have to come with me. The dog hit your bag." And I'm like, fuck. So he starts to take my backpack. So I give him my dad my envelope with the Super Bowl tickets in it and the money. They take the Super Bowl tickets out to see if they're real or not, put them back in there, and give my dad that. A dude named Hank from Instagram I've never met, okay? He was supposed to pick us up at the airport because he wanted to smoke with me. And I said, sure.
Fuck it, why not?
Yeah.
I've done that.
He liked West Coast Cure and everything, and he talked about it. I said, all right, meet. And I was going to bring him some stuff. So he was there also. So now they're taking me under the airport, right, with my bags and my backpack.
This guy has dreads?
Yeah, and another cop. So they handcuffed me in the airport. So everybody's watching. So I'm thinking, fuck. So in Atlanta, the airport is on a line. So you have Clayton County on one side, and then you have Atlanta District on the other, right through the fucking airport. So as I go down below, my dad's with Hank now. He don't know Hank, but he don't know Hank, right?
Yeah.
But I said, Hank, you got to take care of my dad. And he said, I got you. So now he's on a mission. This guy's wanting to help Jerry Krasicki, right? So this guy literally takes my dad to his house, which is like an hour away, and let my dad sleep at his house for 3 days while they took me to jail. So I go down underneath, and they got 2 big old SUVs with like a few dogs on each side. And as the luggage thing's coming through, the dogs are checking every single one of them, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at that as I'm walking in, and I'm like, shit. So I go inside there. So now I get on Instagram because I ain't arrested yet. And I'm like, man, I'm busted. The stash and dash is over. You know, all this shit, right? And Blacklist, they post it, right? So everybody's seeing it, right? It went viral. So I'm in there. So they open up my bag. I'm sitting in this back room on my thing live. Meanwhile, I'm in my fucking messages, delete. I'm just deleting shit left and right.
Yeah.
Deleting my apps, right, with all my stuff on it. And I could hear the guy in there. He goes, damn, this guy's like Cheech and Chong in there. We got Cheech and Chong. And they had opened it up, and they had that big old joint out. They said, get in here. So I go in there, and there's 2 other people in there. Well, that homie had 150 pounds in his bag. And
What?
the girl had another 250 in her bag. And mine was in the same luggage area.
Oh shit.
So they got you caught up.
But they didn't smell the shit in my bag. They smelled my glass tips. Because I take my glass tips and stuff them in my pocket.
Yeah.
I call them condom pockets, but on your jeans, that little pocket.
Yeah.
And I collect them, and the jeans that I put in my bag, I wanted to wear them, and I didn't wash them, and there was tips in there. So
Residue.
the residue from that's what the dogs hit in my bag. They didn't hit the other stuff because they couldn't have hit it. And it was by chance the other shit was on the bag, on the thing too. Yeah. So I'm standing there. So they want to take pictures with it now. So they're taking pictures with it. Meanwhile, you got all these packs over there. You got my measly little 5 tanks. You got like 10 bags of edibles. You got my blunts. You've got some of my products. And then
what year was this again?
This was in 2019 when the Super Bowl.
Oh shit! Okay, yeah, that was too long ago. Yeah.
And they were just kind of giggling. They said, "What is going on?" I said, I do, and I don't shut the fuck up at that point. And I was like, "Cause you're busted. What the fuck's the matter?" I says, "I'm doing a stash and dash. I give this shit away. These over here are for me. This is my medicine. I'm here for the Super Bowl." And they just proceeded to do their thing. They wrote me up and they said, "We're sorry, we're going to have to arrest you." And they arrested me, took me to Clayton County Jail, the Bat Cave.
Damn.
I go walking in there, and it's not Atlanta.
Why do they call it the Bat Cave?
Because the guy that runs it, he's like this crazy sheriff who's like gang related, got all kinds of criminal activity shit goes on according to everybody after you hear about it. He has so many scandals in Clayton County. You could probably look him up. And they got a big old bat up in the, when you walk in, it's called Bat Cave.
Okay.
So the orderlies are the ones that are mopping the floors. They're all looking at me. I walk in there, I got off-white blue shoes on. I got off-white jacket, military jacket. I got an off-white scarf with the X's on. I'm like dressed to the tens because I'm going
Thugged
to
out.
You go to Super Bowl. You go to Super
Yeah,
Bowl.
you
You got to.
fresh.
You might be on camera. You don't know.
So I go in, and they're booking me in, right? And all the windows, you ever been in jail? You got all the, when you first go in, they got the little telephone booths in there, but then they have all the lockups, right? And like 8, 10, maybe 15 windows. All the dudes are in there. Man, he's dripping. Look at that, he's dripping. Meanwhile, the dudes that are mopping the floors, they all got Jordans on. So I guess when you get to a certain stage in there, they let you wear your own sneakers.
You can buy them, yeah. They have a category. You just got to make sure someone puts money in your books. I know this through GPS stories.
So they book me in. I go in. They put me in. I got this dude in my cell. It's this little dude, little black dude. Coolest little fucker, man. We're talking and shit. I'm telling him what's up. Everybody was really cool. We go in for the arraignment the next morning, right? And we sit there, and I'm sitting on the front podium, and they got all these TV cameras, like I'm sitting right in front of all these cameras, right? And I'm like, damn, this is weird. Why would they do that? Like I've been in a lot of courtrooms, and they don't got cameras in there, right? So they call up the dude, the first dude, he's my roommate. He goes up to the podium, and they said, blah, blah, blah. You're being charged with killing so-and-so, taking the body and putting it in the back of a car, relocating the body to another scene, and then burning the car trying to dispose of the body. No bond.
Damn.
And I'm behind him while they're doing all this. And then I look at him, I go, damn, you really did all that shit? So when I get mine and I do my thing and they give me my bond and whatnot, so now I can post bond and get out. It took a minute to get me out. Hank and my dad finally got me out. But I went back to downstairs. Well, this guy, Hank Hill, the one that runs the fucking sheriff's office, he wanted your toilet paper roll. Like, your toilet paper roll, you had to have that motherfucker at a perfect point to the meter where he would take a measuring stick and measure the toilet paper roll. And if it wasn't like at 3 point whatever the number was, even, that homie would rip this cell apart and make you redo everything. He was like that, just coming out of blue, right? So everybody was terrified of this guy. So when I went back after the trial, they moved us into another cells, right? This homie, he took all my shit that was in my bucket, all my stuff, all my bedding, and took it to the other cell, made my bed for me, put all my shit there. And so I walk in, and I'm looking at him. I can't help it, you know me. Yeah. I go, bro, you really did that shit? He said, yeah, man, I killed that motherfucker. He started telling me, he fucking fucked up my little fucking brother's fucking girlfriend and blah, blah, blah. He said, he's lucky. Y'all, that's all I did to him. He was fucking serious.
Damn. Just like nothing.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Damn, that's wild.
And I got out of there and went to the Super Bowl with my dad and had a
Made
great
it to the
ass time.
Super Bowl.
Boom.
There we go.
Bro, even though they lost.
No stash and dash?
And I didn't have a stash and dash. But I had to stay there for like a week and a half. And my dad had to leave because I had to go through paperwork to get to leave.
They kept that blunt, huh?
Oh, they smoked
kept
it.
everything.
They smoked the fuck out of that shit.
Yeah, they took everything. So while I was there, I met this girl named Nicole Fegan who works with celebrities who are arrested. She ended up coming and helping get me out and everything. We ended up meeting up. We smoked a blunt together and everything. She was cool as fuck. She ended up representing me while I was gone. Didn't charge me one dime. I did my Zoom in court with no pants on, with a business shirt and a tie, with a blunt in my hand, and I ended up getting a $500 fine.
Shout out to her.
Yeah, shout out to her.
Yeah,
Nicole
shout out to her.
Fegan.
That's
She's
what's
on
up.
Instagram too.
Good looking out.
Shout out to her.
Let me tell you what, man. She's deadly. She don't fuck around. She does.
Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody who has been tuning in and has and has been giving that thumbs up. throughout the whole stream. Also, been getting the super chats. So let's go ahead and start reading them super chats. I know we got a couple of them. We're probably going to go a little bit over, but that's okay.
Hold on, one thing. We need to do this.
What's up?
I'm here right now because of E-Zone, and I got a lot of love for E-Zone, and I've watched E-Zone grow. I mean, I watched E-Zone grow from short little stories to where he's at right now. Got to admire this guy. He's my next inspiration as a young man. I really look up to him as an older person. He's inspiring, should be for a lot of young people. What he's doing doesn't come easy. But there was a guy named Money Mikey. He started dabbing carts. I knew Mikey before he started dabbing carts. I love the kid. He was such an inspiration to everybody. He opened doors for a lot of people. Yeah. Mikey was killed about a few weeks back in a head-on collision coming from an event to another event by a diesel Mack truck. It was an explosion. They could only identify the vehicles by the license plates. And I went to Mikey's funeral the other day, but tonight they're having a memorial for Mikey. And I was supposed to be there at 7 o'clock. But, that's going to be a party, and I want to maybe go by there after I leave here. But most importantly, I want you guys to know how much this man E-Zone means to me, because I didn't go to that tonight from the beginning of it because I wanted to be here with E-Zone because I support what he does, and I really appreciate him being interested enough in me to be able to talk about my life and talk about why Jerry Krasicki is who he is and why I move the way I do, and that, I'm not just some super trapper. I'm really a person who loves to give, and he's got a lot of that in his heart and soul.
Yeah. And to be,
Thanks,
I don't
Jerry.
know, when
I appreciate it.
3-4 people have told me, they're like, oh, there's Jerry Krasicki, and I'll be like, oh, who's that? Not once have they said trapper, they're like, oh, a legend.
That's hard for me to swallow. I
swear.
I can hear it all the time.
Oh, the legend. I'm like, who? Kyle's like, oh, you don't know Jerry Krasicki, the legend? I'm like, what did he do? And he's like, dude, and then he'll tell me, and he's like, he's got to tell it to you. He'll tell it to you. He loves telling it. Not like that, but he's just like, yo, it's a good story. So I was excited to hear the story straight from you, but no one's calling you a trapper. Everybody's like the legend, and then you come in like flexing on everybody, looking swaggy, and I'm like, well, I was like, I know who that is now. Every time I see him, I'm like,
The only ones that
him.
call him a trapper are the Nigerian fools.
Yeah, those are the only ones. Everyone else knows you as a legend. Don't let that trapper shit.
Man, I hope that through my life of journey that I leave some type of good legacy for my children, and that's what B Real's done. Yeah, he's leaving a legacy for his kid. He expresses it. Funky Phil tips. He's doing it. I'm proud of my kids. My son's very successful. My daughter's a Marine combat photographer, mother, and through this cannabis run through Prohibition, I'm hoping that some of my imagery might make it into some of the books and in the history books, and that when I am gone, I hope that there's something that I can leave behind as a positive influence for the future generations, and also leave enough money for my family to be able to not be in a bad situation. So all those people that watch B Real, that's one of the things that I know fuels him is his family. And when it comes to, leaving a legacy, I'm mentored by him to a certain degree because we've talked about this. Because I wanted to be a partner in Funky Phil Tips. No, nobody. Answer his daughter, and he's a genuine inspiration for sure.
Yeah, man. He's always getting down, man.
Look what he's done for you, bro.
For real. Straight up. There's no lie about that.
But that's all I had to say.
I appreciate that, Jerry. You got the super chats, right? Let's go ahead. I know we got a couple, right?
We got quite a bit.
All right, let's go ahead and run through them.
Mr. Funky 760, $2. Skaida!
Skaida! That's what he said? There you go. Skaida.
Matt Bongard, $5. Salute to you, E-Zone and Xavier. Cheers to the biff of you. Much love, no boof, Tam, ever.
Thank you, homie. Appreciate that.
That goes for you, Cairo.
Kyra, he get beat up, huh?
No, he gets beat up a lot around
Poor
here.
guy.
Poor dude. He's
He got a heart of gold, man.
Oh yeah, he's a homie at the end
He
of the
got
day.
ice spikes under his shoes, man.
Sometimes I wonder how he's so friends with this motherfucker.
Yes, bro.
I know you guys got a love-hate relationship. I love seeing it.
But they can't live without each other.
Yeah.
True brothers.
What's the next one?
Victor G, $2. No Kate, no peace. Damn.
Damn.
That's what's the next one?
Shout out to Kate. Shout out there.
Matt Bongard, $5. Meant to say much love, no boof. My bad about the miswording. Goddamn, I'm lit, fam.
Word
He's
to
lit.
the
Let's
mouth.
do it.
Word, it's all good. It's all good.
Hit that like button.
Raul Aguilar, $2. Farts for Kaira. Y pa'l mandilón del X.
Damn.
That's right, it stinks!
What's the next one?
California's Magic Farms, $20.
Damn.
Thank
Happy
you.
Thursday, guys.
Appreciate
Mush
that.
love. Super awesome guest. Shout out to Ray holding it down.
Much love to you right back, bro. I appreciate you, Cali Magic Farms. Use the special code word WDSTS at checkout.
Ray's the best.
Oh, thank you.
What's the next?
Sizer Celestials, $5. Big
Can I-
up all of you guys per usual. Huge up to Jerry, to which I remember from the Secret Sesh days. Put some respect on his name, eh?
Yo.
Miss those days.
Put
Those were
some
fucking
extra,
great.
extra
I do miss
spec.
those days. Those days were crazy, man. They were so much fun.
They were so raw and real. People would stand out in line for hours just camaradeing.
And it was everybody. There was no special
Smoking.
treatment. It was just like, yeah,
Yes.
it was everybody was a part of that movement.
Every Friday night, I couldn't wait to go see everybody, walk around, smoke
That shit
with
was
everybody.
tight, bro,
give
like-
I'd take a whole jar of weed just to give away to people here and just smoking with them.
Just that shit was so cool, bro. Cause it's like a networking party, bro. But like, yeah, and before there was even an idea of vendors. Like there was just people just
Remember, it was in the house.
Yeah, the house, yeah.
We used to do it in these mansions.
in Burbank, bro. Out of all cities, who didn't fuck with weed. Yeah, like just kicking it in a big ass
People be
mansion.
lined up down the damn street to get in the back.
The neighbors are like, "What the fuck?" They're like, "This nobody's supposed to be out here."
But we'd get it on. It was great, boy.
Yeah, that shit was fucking tight, bro. And then,
I got pictures of all that, bro.
damn, I would like to see some of those.
See, no, you gotta
Cheech
buy an
and Chong
NFT for
shit.
that.
Yeah.
Hey, stop doing
I'll buy
that
the
for free.
I'll buy the ones that I'm in.
That'd be a great idea.
See?
You think? Do a cannabis
Yeah,
collection.
people have been to those events and people are like, man, I wish I would have took a picture at that event, type of shit.
I
That's
got
just
some
yeah.
epic stuff.
You could
I got
definitely do
pictures
that.
of E-Zone. I got-
Straight up.
You gotta be a Cheech and Chong fan.
Yeah, Tommy. I know Tommy.
You know.
I love
Come on,
those
man.
guys. Man,
Man,
when
he's like, I grew up with him.
Bro, when I was a kid, that's all we used to do is like try to talk like them. When the movies, we'd go to the movies and watch them. You know, that was epic back in the day. Cheech and Chong.
Yeah.
Here
Classic.
we're smuggling weed our way, and they making a truck out of it. And shit.
Right?
Right.
So what we do? Me and Mark, we leave from Florida and drive to Nebraska because he told me that weed grows wild in Nebraska. And during the war, they grew hemp there to make rope for the boats.
Yep.
So it just started growing wild. And I'm like, what? So I'm 16 years old in Florida. We get in his Datsun pickup
On the
truck
way to
with
Nebraska.
with these metal racks on it, put a John boat on the top of it, and we drive to Nebraska. We get to Nebraska and we're driving down the 2, and there's these. They got utility poles and then telephone poles. One's a little shorter than the other, right? These utility poles are at least 20 feet tall. We're driving. And he goes, "See that right there? That's all hemp." And I'm like, I was like, it was so much. I was like, "Where?" And he goes, "Right there." And I'm like, "It's right in front of me. I don't even can't even recognize it."
Wow.
We stop and man walk up, man. There's these massive plants everywhere. So I'm starting to try to break off branches, right? He goes, "No, we're gonna go to my parents' property."
You got busy.
He paints signs for a living now. Okay, so we go to his parents' property, and the next thing you know, the next morning off we go. We driving down these dirt roads like this, and you go over these little bridges, and you'd see the weed just kind of sticking up. But when you look over, it's these massive plants that are like 20 feet tall.
Damn.
With colas that look like this microphone. And they're just huge with stalks like this, right? So we wouldn't cut the whole things down. We just pull down the top like 6-7 feet and whack it off. So he's driving by, I'm running out throwing the weed in the back of the truck. And we do this for like a week. And down on the farm, by the farmhouse, we're hanging the weed on the fence, on the barbed wire while it's drying, right? And we end up staying there longer than we anticipated, and we run out of money. And my mom's a dance teacher, and I was always in dance and stuff, like that kind of business. And I like to dance. So he's having to paint a sign to make money so we can get back. Now, we got like all this pot. What our plan was is we were going to put it in bags and put it in the John boat, and then we're going to take plywood and cut it out and screw it in there and make like, from where the seat area is, all these secret panels, right?
Yeah.
So we did that.
Tom Cruise.
So we're trying to leave the place. So we have no money. So we go to this bar and they're having this amateur strip night, right? The girls up there, and they ain't taking it all off. They ain't gonna bathe in suits or what. And then Marcus like, man, you got to make some money. Get up there. It's a $50 prize. So the dude they go out to the truck and give me these fucking Speedo bathing suits with ladybugs on it, right?
No.
They push me. We're drunk, right? They make me go up there. So I go up there and start dancing, right? So, everybody's kind of like, whoa. So I get on the ground and start doing the worm, right? They start going crazy as shit. I won $50. I wasn't even old enough to be in the fucking bar. We got the $50. Got some other cash. We head back to Florida. We take all that weed down there, and we're mixing it in with the bales. And to like fill them out, we're cutting the weed basically, and like you will with coke, you put baby aspirin in and shit. We were putting fucking hemp in with the Colombian, and you could tell it was like this bright green red hair shit, and then you got this dark ass Colombian shit from bales. Yeah, but we sold that stuff for like $150 a pound, $125 a pound. Wow! And you could smoke it and get high for like a minute, but boy, it was pretty.
For like a minute.
Yo, Ray, what's the next one?
Thanks for telling us.
Next one.
Undercover.
Good. Hey, that's a good show, Undercover, right now on Netflix.
Cisco 2269, $10. Ex-roommate. She tripped out, called the ambulance. Once they saw her arms, she was a cutter.
Oh.
EMT assumed she was having a bad trip. No cops walked in the house. We were about to flush all the drugs for reals.
Oh, this happened to him?
I guess the next roommate.
Oh, damn. That's
crazy.
Wild. Damn. That's fucking crazy.
There's nothing worse than a scorned roommate or...
I'm telling you, dude, we need a fucking phone call so these fools can come in and leave their fucking stories on the voicemail. We can see if they're
like
dope.
boys?
Yeah.
What's the next one, Ray?
Christian Peña, good idea. $5. This fool looks like he sells fake ayahuasca. But really good fruit pressed juices and energy stones.
Have you done ayahuasca, DMT?
Yeah,
you dabbled a little bit?
DMT before in ayahuasca. That's something you don't do very often.
Oh, that's not.
Yeah, it's not like you roll a blunt every day, bro.
My friend did that DMT in Amsterdam for like a month straight, right? Damn. And he wasn't right for at least a year after that. He just sat there for, he was locked.
Stone.
His name was Wax. He's a tattoo artist. That's some bitch.
He just got stuck in the mix?
He just got stuck. Yeah. I mean, he still moved around, but he was stuck. He really was not everything was he was in the Matrix.
Damn, that's crazy.
You can only do that stuff by a little bit,
yeah, every here and there.
Like a tiny grain.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan, bro.
Yeah.
What's the next one, right?
Next one, T-Press, $2. Esto buen adicto a los pinches cactus.
Supposed to love that shit now.
They do.
Yeah.
Estoy adicto a los cactus.
We ran into this older gentleman at this flea market that's like addicted to cactus, and he just yelled it out of nowhere. Estoy adicto a los cactus in Spanish, and me and him just started laughing at 6 a.m. and just the energy of the love for cactus.
He loves cactuses that much.
And some of them will take you to another dimension, bro.
Yeah, it's true. The peyote shit,
Yeah,
yeah.
they do.
That's true, but what if it's not? What if he
We
knows
didn't
some? What if he knows some shit that he knows? He's like, nobody knows if you smoke that one, it gets you high. Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, he had this love for cactus at 6 in the morning. Early.
Cactus.
Cactus.
What's the next one?
Next one, T Press, $2. Yo, Psycho Lazy. What's your
What's up?
number one conspiracy?
My number one conspiracy is the GOV.
There you go. What's the next one?
Next one, Rex, $5. Canon will no longer be making flagship DSLRs. Thoughts on this?
That's on you, Ray, right?
That's on you and
Well-
photographers. I wouldn't know.
Canon's not gonna make a DSLR.
Nah, cause they switched over to mirrorless.
Yeah.
My
that's what
thoughts on
daughter
it?
shoots with.
Very quickly.
It's like fucking cords and iPhones and shit. They just keep making up shit.
Yeah, that, and you just gotta, you gotta stay ahead of the game. Right now, everybody loves mirrorless.
Hey,
That's
if
where
that's
it's
your
going.
profession, then that's what you got to do. But if you're a real photographer and you got real composition and you know what you're doing, you can take it with an Instamatic and get the best picture.
There you go.
There you go.
The Polaroid.
As much as I don't
it.
like mirrorless, but that's
What's-
the future.
What's the next one, Ray?
Next one, Dabigail 420, $5. Wish a bad bitch a happy birthday. Please, quarter century young. Thanks for keeping me busy at work. Stay grinding.
What's her
Happy
name?
birthday.
Birthday, bad bitch.
Yeah,
Happy
bad
birthday, bad bitch.
Oh, sounds like she's bad at cooking, bad at cleaning.
We don't know that.
We don't know that. Why you judging, bro? Damn, fucking toxic.
talking
But yeah,
shit.
happy birthday. I hope you have a good one and health and wealth for you. You know what I'm saying?
Ralph Ramos, $5. Basically missed tonight's episode, but we'll watch it tomorrow. Salud. We don't smoke the same fam. And XG, next time I got you on the pizza. Also, farts for Kyra. Pizza, bro. Pizza.
The dog's getting
Yo, the
and
dog
fed
is about
eats.
to get
Hey,
big.
you know, you got
Actually, you want
notch.
pizza or
Bismarcky.
pizza?
Pizza.
to take care of them.
What's the next one?
Next one. Ralph Ramos is back with $2 more. Rah, salute on your first podcast episode review. Thank you.
Dope. Yeah, check it out, guys.
Yeah, make sure you guys check it out.
I do take requests, and some people have been requesting.
What's the next one? You got anything in mind? You're going to surprise us?
Next one's gonna be The Power of the Dog, because it's fucking Oscar season and shit.
Okay.
Might well, review something that's on the playing field.
Power of the dog.
No pornos, please. Yeah, it's on Netflix. And then people I'm just putting it out there.
Oh, now you gave him a reason to send you pornos, right?
I'm not gonna read it. Just letting you know, don't waste your time.
What's the next one?
So I know you're nasty. Ralph Ramos, $2, sipping on that new Jameson Orange, pretty fire.
Dope.
Salute. Thank you so much. And cheers to you.
He's one's over there just sipping on that Undertaker shit.
That shit's pretty much gone.
It's gone. You guys fucked it
Damn.
up. Can't leave nothing around here.
Yo,
What's the next one?
got the munchies.
Next one is Luis Sanchez, $2. Jerry and Psycho, favorite psychedelic experience?
Favorite psychedelic experience. Dropping LSD back in the day, called Mr. Natural. That would be I saw God.
Just one tab.
Nah, 4 or 5.
4 or 5. A little
Back
window.
in the day,
A
man,
window.
we buy tabs by the hundreds.
Damn.
I'd have to say, yeah, definitely LSD's been my best.
You saw God?
Oh yeah.
What did he look like?
It's just a white light. I swear to God, it's just unbelievable. I've laid on the bed like 3 days tripping.
Damn.
I should have my mom on this show. She can tell you a lot about my drug use and history. Cause my mom, she stuck by me side by side no matter what I did. She showed me what love and family is about. Because you can't pick your family. And I never did anything wrong to her. It was just more self-abuse, and she stuck with me. Versus sometimes the parents will dump their kids because they're not happy with their self-destruction, or if they choose to be a certain genre or they're certain type of way with, if they want to be with a man or a woman, they lose their kids over that. That's ridiculous. My mom, she stuck with me from thick and thin from day one. Period. And she got stories better than me because she was aware of
Yeah, she could have seen. She saw you tripping when you weren't even.
everything.
Yeah.
She's found my stuff. She was there when I was there. She was there for me in the rehabs. She's there for me today.
Wave her.
Yeah, but
Yeah, man.
Shout out to Mom.
Parents got to deal with a lot of shit, man. That's the bottom line,
What's the next one, Ray?
Les, you got a favorite psychedelic experience?
Psychedelic. Not really, man. I keep it easy, man. I always keep it easy.
Right on.
But we have fun. I had my nights, believe me.
Yeah.
So,
Like everybody else.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the next one, Ray?
Chris D. Bands, $10. What's good, fools? Yo, E-Zone, X, and Rah Rah. I really fuck with this podcast, man. I listen almost every day at work, and I gotta say, they all slap. Y'all cabrones never disappoint. Salud y bendiciones.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you for your donation and thank you for watching the show. I appreciate you.
Yeah, we got some dope guests on the way, so stay tuned.
What's the next one?
Ralph Ramos, $2. Jerry, it was good meeting you at the Plant Galaxy.
Oh, that was a great event. Everybody there was
It was
bomb.
fun. E-Zone.
A+.
Yeah, Cairo did a great job hosting,
Yeah,
saying that, managing that. Right, E-Zone?
Yep.
Great job, right?
Great job. Great job.
I'd say he did an amazing
job. Yeah, I liked it.
That's
Little
where I
bus.
saw
Had the little bus. They had shit for you to buy, food. They had the whole set. And there was
bus
nothing
was
missing
cool.
except a bathroom.
But I'll tell you what, the inside of that place, first class.
Yeah.
It's clean. They're friendly. They're knowledgeable.
Yeah, especially for the IE. No offense to the IE, but
Yeah, but
they got some sketchy ass places out in the IE. I
I'm
picked
gonna tell
up.
you, for
And,
that place right there, it
we
sets
know
a precedent.
we know what you mean.
yeah.
Yeah. You can buy meth a couple of bucks.
Yeah, but it was great. It was private.
But
and-
they have a nice secure
Yeah.
parking area and whatnot. So and it's really clean inside.
Yeah.
That's important.
What's the next one, Ray?
Next one, Luis Sanchez, $2. Jerry, any tips for growing the weed? Blessings.
Okay, if you're gonna grow weed, first of all, if you ever had a child, you have to take care of it like that because a child can't live if you don't feed it. And if you're gonna grow weed, you need to make sure the genetics that you start out with are gonna be genetics that you've already smoked, not just from a seed, because you don't want disappointment at the end. And you probably should get a book like Growing Soma Organics, read about that, read some of Eddie Lepp's books, some of DJ Short's books, but most importantly is time. If you're going to grow weed, you got to make sure you got time. You can't have a 12-hour a day job or...
How many batches till you come out with something good would you usually takes?
My first plant I grew was on my mom's pool deck, and the plant was like from a seed, and I was 14 years old, and it was like 8 feet tall, but I couldn't figure out why there was no buds on it. Like, it looked different than when I was getting in the bag, so I used to watch Jorge Cervantes, and he'd wear the, the black wig with the hat, and that's where I kind of started watching his videos and Danny Danko to learn to grow, and then my dog ate that plant, so then I grew some more, and then I started actually let one grow to where the cycle went through and I saw it budding because I started watching videos. And most importantly, I was trying to figure out how to keep pH appropriate, and back then they didn't have a lot of chemicals, so you were taking fish and
You're making your own.
then potato, any kind of food product, and putting it in a mulch and trying to make your own stuff,
Fertilizer.
and fertilizer.
Yeah.
And Miracle Grow back, I could tell you, I grew some good weed with Miracle Grow. But, as we've evolved, they make growing weed a lot easier. You don't have to worry about all the infrared stuff for the helicopters. You can actually focus on growing weed. But most importantly, it's time. If you're going to grow something, you have to pay attention to it. And if you find something you like to grow, once you grow it over and over again, you'll learn how it acts. And you'll learn what the nutrients and what your levels of pH and levels of nutrients can be, and less is more. So when you're growing, some of the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that little baby's got plenty of water. But what you don't realize is, even though it's dry up here, it's wet down here, and you start getting root rot and whatnot. So less is more when you're growing your weed, for sure.
That's what I always tell them.
Yeah, really. Less is more. Yeah, less is more. What's going down?
Yeah, less is more.
What's the next one, Ray?
Next one, and probably the last one. Jeffy, $5. Shout out to Psycho, Salute X, G.E. Ray, and the guest, Farts for Kyra.
There you go. What is it? Is that the last one?
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Salute to everybody who tuned in. Thank you so much to everybody who hit that thumbs up, everybody who hit that share button. And if you're listening to this afterwards or watching it afterwards, make sure you hit that share button and subscribe and share it with your friends as well. Make sure you guys go to flavorsbyezone.com, highhungry.shop. Make sure you guys tune in Saturday. We're going to be back. And, like I said, follow my new page, Flavors by E-Zone with 2 S's. Xavier, shout out.
What's up? Hit that like button. Obviously, subscribe. Go get your candles from E-Zone. Go get those bazooka blunts. Come on, stay with it. And then if you're looking for anything Sam Tripoli, go to samtripoli.com. Tickets to our shows in Long Beach, Fresno, and one in Chicago. Tickets are almost sold out for the one in Long Beach, standing room only. And, stay tuned. Thank you, Les.
Yeah, salute everybody watching. Salute E-Zone, the crew, you know how we do, Oh, man. Shout out to the little doggy.
Chloe.
Yeah, Chloe, how could I forget? But, follow me, IG, Psycho Leezy, and that's how we do, man. One love, E-Zone.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. What is it, Jerry K? Where can they follow you? I appreciate you coming by, man. It was it's dope to catch up, and you definitely have a lot to share with us, man.
I appreciate you letting me come on here and share. If you're following me, it's Jerry Krasicki.
That's the real page?
That's the real page, Jerry Krasicki. And then I also have one with JR Jr. at the bottom of it. After that, Jerry Krasicki. Don't follow fake pages. If you do, if anybody asks you for anything, it's not me, because I'm not asking you for nothing. You can come to me with your problems if you want to. I appreciate the opportunity to help people. I appreciate E-Zone bringing me on the show, and all the opportunities that I've had in life and all the ups and downs I've had in life. I really enjoy sharing, because I hope that if I can just make a difference in one person's life, that's rewarding to me.
That's big.
There you go.
And follow Heartbreaker Chloe. It's Heartbreaker, CLOE, for the adventures of Chloe. Is she everywhere?
Everywhere.
Oh,
Yep.
Rams games, the club, bottle service.
She's going to have
She's got the best
her own
of
show.
it.
Yeah.
Yep. You make sure you guys check her out, and make sure you guys check us out on Saturday. See you guys there.
Later.
It's high right now.
Later.
All right, man. Much